Disclaimer: the following Boundless PodTrap episode contains strong opinions that some listeners may and will find offensive. If you cannot accept or respect others with a differing opinion from yours, then fuck off.
Rolling sound.
I like turtles.
Shush! Alrighty. Let me see your war face.
Now, y'all ain't planning on fucking these chickens, are you?
Picture it. Sicily, 1920.
Aren't we fucking funny?
Streaming from the Midwest, right in the middle of the U.S. From Omaha, Nebraska, you're listening to the Boundless PodTrap, your entertainment podcast where we touch on all topics, from the crazy and absurd to the sacred and profane, and even the useless and unnecessary. The Boundless PodTrap knows no bounds. And now, here are your hosts.
I think we need to re-record that intro because we're definitely not funny, and we do plan on fucking those chickens.
Speak for yourself.
Planning on it?
Maybe somebody already has.
Oh, giggity.
Not one of us.
Sorry. You can't unfuck it. You can't.
Man, if I had a quarter for every time I've heard that.
What's happening, everybody? Welcome to episode 029.
But you borrowed a quarter from me not even a half hour ago.
Saw your conversation. Oh, yeah.
This isn't 2-9. This is 3-0, isn't it?
It is 2-9.
No, it's 2-9.
No, it's 2-9?
I messed up saying the other one was 2-9 when I
think I messed up.
Amateur hour in here.
And I think I messed up not fixing it the first time.
We were going to edit it to where I just Justin did a voiceover that said 2-9. So it'd just be like me, well, this was episode, and then it'd be Justin's voice, 2-9.
This is episode 2-8.
Yeah.
Jeremy went back to his home planet.
I don't know. You should have. Justin was there. He could have told me while he was watching the kids.
Dude, I had my hands full. I had 3 little shits like to watch. I was counting yours. I'm sorry.
But you only have 2 kids.
Yeah.
Mox is a handful.
He dropped a deuce in the middle of that.
Good at it.
I swear we could have.
I think I kept that in too. Where you're like, do I smell a poopy?
Yeah, that was definitely still in there. That was rancid.
That little
Your
dude.
son can drop a deuce.
Yes,
the temerity on that one.
Welcome back to the sausage party, boys.
I know.
We got those good-smelling girls out of here and back to B.O. and
We have a bigger room to
funded
fill.
cheese.
It doesn't smell like salmon anymore.
What? Huh?
Fish.
I know it. Like the color?
I don't know if that was so much them or if it was the smell of Mike's couch.
Or his table.
Yeah, good point.
We're gonna sidestep.
There's been some. If couches could write stories, man, the stories that couch could tell.
Couch is a slut.
It's got a different meaning for used
Man,
couch.
There's only so many times you can flip over the cushions.
And I sit on that couch. That's my seat whenever I'm over there.
That's what I told Tracy. I'm like, you didn't let Mox crawl on the couch, did you? She's like, no, why? I'm like, some things are better left unsaid.
Dude, your son, man. Like, okay, so he has that little glass fire pit thing below his TV, and your son was just eye fucking the shit out of himself, looking like at
He
his
is the
reflection.
most conceited little cocksucker I've ever met.
It's like I saw him climb up on, in front of the reflection, and then he looks at himself, and like he gives himself like a very like, hey.
He was
smile.
macking on your daughters for sure.
They can take him.
One of the only ways to get him to calm down when he's like super, super stressed is show him pictures of himself. And he'll always like laugh and smile. It's like, oh, I'm sorry you feel bad. Here's you. And he's like, hey, fucking A, man.
It's like, who's that suave mofo?
God, I'd fuck the shit out of him. Would you fuck me? I'd fuck me. I go into his room to get him ready for breakfast and he's singing Wild Horses.
So things have changed a little bit here. Right now we are in the brand new studio. This is the first time Lonnie's stepping foot. What's your impressions?
It's fucking awesome. Where there's so much more space. There's more than one bathroom, so we don't have to like daisy chain to the bathroom anymore.
Which I liked that.
Yeah, I mean,
did too.
it kind of felt like the human centipede when we all had to shit, but it was okay.
Jeremy used to use your Norelco razor on his.
He doesn't want to know what that was used for. But I left my phone in my car. And I'm like, I can find my way back, thinking that this building isn't a fucking maze to begin with, and I've only walked to the studio. I've never walked out from the studio. So I'm walking, listening to their directions, and I'm sure you guys have heard me say this a billion times at this point. I have OCD, so all the walls are different colors, all the rooms are slightly a little bit different, so I'm kind of, anyway. And so I see a lady sitting in the hall, and I ask her, how do I get out of here? And she goes, well, go this way, go past the mailboxes down the steps, and you're out. I'm like, okay, awesome, easy. I can see the mailboxes. Go out to my car, get my phone.
She made you go down the steps?
Yeah.
It's an elevator.
Yeah.
Oh, I need it. I'm getting fat. Kidding. And anyway, down the steps, out the door, get my phone, come back inside, go up the steps. Instantly, I'm fucking lost. And I go until I see her again, and I look at her, I go, you're a landmark. I found you. I'm going the right way. And she goes, you're lost, aren't you? I'm like, yeah. And she nicely showed me all the signs that, like, where to go, and I made my way back, but I was so out of breath by the time I got here, not because I was tired, because I was panicking because I had no fucking idea where I was at.
This place is overwhelming.
Yeah, but we did the right thing, though, because we took a picture with him and what he's wearing right now, so if he gets lost, we can find him.
There's a big button that says Code Adam.
Have you seen this boy?
But no, there's fucking a pool table, a ping pong table. There's an adult Lego room here.
There is.
Like,
This place has everything except for a washer and dryer, which I'm sure we could find one.
I bet
you can make shift stuff.
Yeah, there's people here watching porn. Walked by and they were watching porn on the big screen.
That was kind of. It really wasn't porn, Justin. It was. They were watching. There was two chicks in bikinis. It was a YouTube video. Needless to say, Lonnie and I stopped and were there for a while.
We can get away with porn these days on YouTube. They have
but not on OnlyFans anymore.
Educational.
You can't get porn on OnlyFans, but you get porn on YouTube.
Yeah. Naked yoga. There's naked yoga on, full spread eagle, it's on YouTube.
Right. You can,
as long as it's educational, it's good.
You can search up the proper Brazilian wax and just gaze into a vagina the whole time. Yeah, it's just straight labia and then I can see what you had for lunch.
What sound effect was that? Oh man! So yeah, this studio is pretty sweet to be recording here, and then also doing our movie stuff here as well. It's an awesome find, and we can thank Justin for that. I drive by this place a ton, and I never realized what it was. And like we said, we were looking for office space, and we just decided one day we were going to come here. And my God, it wasn't even a question if we were going to get an office anywhere else. This is it.
We had 2, maybe 3 other places we were going to check out that day me and Jeremy had a free day. So, we went to go out holding hands, skipping to our loos and stuff. And, it's once we check this place out, there's no reason to look anywhere else. We have the Boundless PodTrap right here on the side. We do the Shorty Films. This houses everything that's going to come out of that. So, was that you or me?
That's you. Your phone is the only one hooked up to that soundboard. So,
are we sure?
Yeah.
Jeremy's so old. That's the sound his ejaculate sounds like. Oh, ladies!
Sounds like
it's that time. Here it comes.
Sounds like the penguin on Toy Story 2.
We gotta address something. Me and Justin have to address something about last episode. You cocksucker.
What?
What was all this bullshit about you tearing us down?
Well, you weren't there. I mean, Justin was there, but why not?
I was home. I was home nursing surgery wounds.
They look good, though.
Yeah, I could.
Of course they look good. They're on me.
I could see if you were in war or whatever. And
In war.
You were fishing. Who gets fucking 4th degree burns from fishing?
Me, motherfucker. Me.
You have your thigh on the top of your foot right now.
I do. My thigh still hurts. The feet are fine, but the nerve endings are growing back. Motherfucker, do my feet itch. But,
well, what was it about the last episode that upset you? I thought I was pretty tame with you guys.
The worst thing about it, though, the barbs you tried to throw at us were bad. They weren't even good insults.
Give me an example.
I don't know. I guess.
Oh, good one. Yeah. It must have been that good. You can't even remember.
I was going to say, they weren't good. That was the problem. If you're going to try to insult us, at least make it memorable.
I didn't have to insult you much. Your wives did it for me. Which I was surprised. Your wives didn't know you as well as I thought they would have.
We don't tell them about us.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah.
There was a couple
It's
of
like
them.
we're on the witness protection program, and there are captors.
There was like a couple of them where I would say it, and I knew it was like yours, Justin, and Chris was like, "I better not be him or whatever." And I'm like, "Fuck."
See, I was
Divorce.
kind of.
Yeah,
I was
wouldn't
wondering
want
about
to be.
that too.
I wouldn't want that either. Like if I was Justin and she's like, "That better not be Justin," I'd be fucking moving.
Well,
She's a scary woman. She's an absolute perfect soul. She's an amazing woman,
backtrack.
but she's scary as fuck.
I don't know if I would say that. I mean, she has her flaws. She stopped.
Who she's married to?
Oh, hey, Crystal.
She promised not to hit me in the face anymore.
You looked at the door.
Oh my God.
Don't hit me.
How'd you get in?
Call the police.
Well, you guys can. I can take an episode off, and you guys can do whatever the hell you want for an episode about me.
Oh, we can bring in.
Sounds good.
I've tried getting her to come on here, and she won't.
Do I have to cut that?
We should, yeah. Didn't get the reaction I hoped it would. Damn.
His oh shits are like not as much oh shits.
Because at this
He's
point,
like-
he knows it's going to get cut out. Doesn't affect him anymore.
Since we're on that, there's a few questions I kind of wanted to go over that's on the
You got him, buddy.
Chick
over there.
podcast, the 028. 028.
It was 029.
028.
029. All right. What was there was a one I feel like I have to respond to. Okay. I have to save. Oh, I guess I don't know.
Well, we can give our responses on them.
Yeah. So, I mean, Crystal knew that I was engaged, but she just never listens to me when I have heart to hearts.
She didn't realize you were engaged 3 times.
Yeah. She wasn't counting herself. I'm like, you knew about these psychos. One of them served us chicken wings at one point. I didn't know she worked there.
Oh, I was like, she came to your house and
Yeah.
Here's your
Battered
wings
it up.
without a ring on them.
Like,
you
these-
bastard.
Are these fuckers poisoned? The other one is, I have no idea. I don't care. But
Wow,
So
you
there
man
was
whore.
a question about beating up a borderline mentally handicapped person.
You worded
Yeah.
that. I did not word it that way. You worded it, so don't blame the wording of
That's
it.
that's accurate though.
Okay.
It's
okay.
an
The
accurate-
way you were saying it was like you're coming down on me. Like, why would you say that?
Yeah.
Why would
this-
you say that?
This needs some context.
Yeah. So okay, it was in elementary school. All right, and then there was this dude named LJ. I'm putting him on blast here. He used to walk around the playground every single day, and he's like, "It's morphin' time! It's morphin' time!" and like just throw a punch or a kick or something like that. And I got so pissed off. I loved Power Rangers back in the day, and then like he would still do it. And everybody would like hear him, and it was like, you know, oh my God, fucking LJ, or freaking LJ. I don't know what we said back then. So I was on like the little steps or bridge place, and then I just like slid off of it, and I started targeting him. And like, I mean, I guess I did know he was kind of mentally challenged. He's not able to like, or I guess he's not unable to participate in certain things. Like he was in our class, like he didn't have to. He had to go outside the class for like an hour out of the day for more advanced learning or something. But yeah, so it's morphin' time. It's morphin' time. So all I did was trip him and kick him once, and then because everybody cheered, and
You are
I was a hero.
Dick.
Wow.
I don't even know that.
So-
I don't want to do
This is when I was
So
like
not only
second grade.
did you
Right?
beat up a mentally
God dang.
handicapped child, you did it in front of a ruthless group of children who cheered you. So not only are you a dick, everyone you went to school with are dicks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, LJ. Justin looked at the door again.
No, he was one of those types of. See, I don't want to call him handicapped because he wasn't really handicapped. Like he was well aware of certain things.
Like he had a learning disability.
He was just behind on certain things. So yeah, possibly like a little learning disability. But I mean, he was grouped with the people who were handicapped, who actually had more struggles. And like
And what
he
did
used
you do
that.
to them?
Don't get me started.
Pissed on their sandwiches and
There's levels to
dumped out their
this.
juice.
No, but like he was one of those guys who tried to get away with certain things. He's like, well, you can't because I'm doing it. And it's like, well, not in so many words. Yes, I'm trying to think
Shame
of
on
a
him
few.
for trying to use the same bathroom as you. Get out of here.
Swirly, wedgie, book check. Yeah.
Did you say boob check?
Book.
Book check. Okay.
You know what books are.
So
Jeremy doesn't, but
LJ was a little on the bigger side.
yeah.
If he
You don't
boob
morph in
checks
front of
to
me.
him.
If you're going to morph in front of me, that means you're willing to fight. So that's on him.
Do you think maybe you're the one with the mental disability?
You're the we're peeling back some layers on this onion all of a sudden. I think I need to take this episode to my therapist. I'll pay the $75 for her to listen to this.
I think we do have a therapist in this building, so
we can check her out.
There is a massage lady that I did see when I walked by. She's who helped me.
Really?
She was watching Bikini.
You guys are fucking lucky I came back.
Like, we're not fucking
this hour. I could be down there getting a hot stone massage rather.
I kind of want to go see her about possibly getting a massage.
I think is that the one
normal massage?
You don't want your taint massaged? Just the thumb rub taint?
Only I know how to do that.
6-inch gooch. Hey. What else was there? Lonnie.
Yeah.
This stroked me.
What the fuck? I'll leave you to be.
Freak me, baby.
I got some Arizona Arnold Palmer tea we can rub on it so there's no friction.
Yeah. This caught me off guard.
Yep.
You're afraid of the pitch black?
Pitch black. Not dark, but pitch black, yes.
Pitch black is dark, isn't
and
it?
it's not so much afraid of it. I'm afraid of what potentially could be in it. Like falling off something, stepping in something that could hurt you, falling through something. Like, I'm not
Justin's
scared.
wife.
Yeah, Crystal could be sitting in the corner. Not dead. But no, and it's not like scared of monsters, scared of anything like that. It's scared of my surroundings, scared of my environment.
Inability of being able to utilize your senses beyond what's in front of you, I guess.
Basically, yeah. Because being colorblind, my sense of sight is impaired anyway.
So is your fears heightened with?
It's not my fears necessarily. It's more of like my other senses kind of take over. So my hearing is, I can't say it's good at this point in my life. It used to be good until I got old and blew my fucking eardrums out. But like just being in the pitch black and not being able to really comprehend your space. Like if I'm in this room and it went pitch black, I know there's 4 walls. I know there's computers here, desks there, blah, blah, blah. And I'd be fine. But if you put me in a space I've never been in, like when we went and checked out the white room, and if that would have just been pitch black and you fuckers would have ran off, no, couldn't handle it. I would have got on my hands and knees and crawled till I found a wall and make my way out. That's why they say right hand, right wall. It's like the haunted house theory. Yeah. Put your right hand on the right wall. You'll always find your way out.
Until your shit gets cut off by a dude with a chainsaw.
Well, that method was made from firefighters.
Oh.
Like they would put their right hand on the right wall to find their way out. And if you put it in fire, you're a dumb shit.
Wrong wall,
yeah.
Next.
But yeah, it just came from that. And I don't like not knowing my surroundings.
Right. It kind of reminds me of something we briefly talked on a previous episode. Something that Jeremy brought up about, like, was it mecha phobia? The old theme parks with, like, machinery. It's like mechanical.
I'll look it up here since I have a computer in front of me now.
It's like those things that are just underwater. Like I caught myself a few times in the last few months just scrolling through like videos like those where you're just like underwater and then all of a sudden there's like a old mecha animatronophobia or something like that.
Submechanophobia.
Yeah. Submechanecrophobia.
That is the fear of underwater animatronics.
Yeah. That shit's crazy. That kind of goes with like the pitch black thing. I mean, you're seeing more green, but you're so fuzzy
right
in front of you.
So it's kind of a loaded question, but not in the same sense. It's easier to just explain I'm scared of the pitch black, but it's not the pitch black that I'm scared of. It's not knowing my surroundings.
Do you have like a safety song you sing when you're in the pitch black?
Yeah. Get the fuck out of here.
This little light of mine.
Move, bitch.
I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. All right. Sorry.
That's what I'm scared of. That amount of black I'm scared of.
I think one thing for me that would be the absolute biggest fear is the deep blue sea. Not knowing
that movie was all right.
I just if you were, first of all, being in the ocean, even if I'm on a boat, I'd be freaked out. But if you were like the movie Castaway,
right.
When the plane goes down and stuff like that, like when he's just there and the fire gets put out and he's just in pitch black in the storm, oh my God, that would freak me out. And just not knowing what the fuck is underneath the water.
That's kind of I mean, like being in like desert situations when there's no lights around. It's like you only have like your vehicle light. And,
absolutely. And with desert too, with the sun going down and it gets absolutely freezing out. Like that's another,
Which is crazy. The desert, hot as balls during the day and then freezing at night.
Yeah. Talk about a fucking absolute shift in your body.
Do you guys ever watch those shows like Survivor Man or the one with Bear Grylls?
Here and there.
What would you
overcome.
if you were lost? Would you rather be somewhere lost where it was hot or where it was cold?
I would probably kill you first.
Oh, you're by yourself.
My 3 items would be a fleshlight.
You mean flashlight?
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Oh man, I'm drinking. Don't do that.
He was thinking of a flashlight. No, I think I would rather be someplace where it gets freezing cold.
Yeah, I mean, you could always put on more clothes.
I still choose the hot. I'd pass out over heat.
Well, yeah, you don't have a fucking hair on your body.
Yeah, sometimes.
His legs and toes have them.
You haven't asked me to spread them.
Don't need to. You do it on command. You just look at me and that shit gapes open.
What other questions did you have for the questions?
There was something that you were talking about. Well, I guess it's one of mine, the ones that I picked. The deodorant. You asked, or I guess she asked. Did you ask that? Or she asked? No, she asked that.
I don't think
she
I had
asked
a question
you
about
About
deodorant.
like, do guys
at your balls?
Yeah, put deodorant on like around their private areas. And I damn sure do, because I'm always walking in I got this tip from a chick. Like I was talking to one of the chicks on my route who she's like, they got
about
like
this.
Yeah, I'm like, man, am I chafing? Like my thighs like are chafing because.
Why would you tell somebody you're delivering mail to that? I'm chafing.
Oh,
because
my
of mail.
balls. It's like the desert.
She was asking why there's blood on her.
Oh, don't worry. That's what the Valtrex is for.
Anyways, you're talking about chafing.
Yes. So some people are talkers. So it's like, I got to get going. But yeah, this one, I was kind of talking about this. And she.
Are you one of those people?
Well, I got a job to do, Do it right. Do it good.
Now, when you talk about deodorizing, are you talking like Gold Bond powder or
just
like
deodorant,
cornstarch?
like regular,
like a stick of deodorant?
So I get like the 5-packs from like Costco.
Do you do your do you do your pits and your balls with the same stick?
Sometimes, if it's after the shower, it's all good to go, man.
I mean,
That explains.
Self-cleaning.
That explains the vinegar smell.
just going down this rabbit hole.
But she was talking about how like there's the little creams and stuff that you can put on your thighs, and so it's like, yeah, I might need to do that. She's like, well, just try deodorant. That's what I've always done. And then I tried. I'm like, holy shit, I haven't.
She puts deodorant on her balls.
Yeah, she does her.
You beat me to it.
So I mean, like, well, it's around like the crease of your legs there, around where said balls.
So I've always referred to that as the gooch. I don't know what you guys refer to it as, but that's what I refer to as the gooch.
Yeah.
I refer to it as my V line.
Your
No, this is the
vagina.
Mine's.
You mean
a
your
special
labia?
place.
Major.
your labia. Oh, don't bring that fucking up. I'm still bitter about that game.
He forgot everything.
I'm still. I can't remember what my name is 3/4 of the time, but I'm still pissed off about
I
that.
still
game.
like the picture was hilarious.
Just getting them hand to us. I'm like, are we supposed to fuck it? Like, what is this thing?
Turning it upside down.
Can I
and
get a
stuff.
pair of scissors, please?
Yeah. His wife won't let him get any unless he
Are
can.
we supposed to spit on it first? Or like,
You like that?
You know that little thing. Honk.
But yeah. Speaking of which, congrats to Lonnie for his passing his exam. Now he's an official gynecologist, so we got that going.
yeah, I do. Any ladies out there who need their vagina looked at, P.O. Box 24. Send all your mail there. If it gets past security, my dad will probably look at it first.
I don't even know what's going on right now.
You can cut that, but it's my parents' address.
Whoops. Yeah,
Leave it.
there was one more. I don't remember what the outcome was, but there was a question talking about delivering a baby, and that was that.
Yeah, who delivered a baby, and you helped with a doctor.
Yeah.
You helped the doctor deliver a
That was
baby.
a
So
fake-
that was
a fake.
That
one.
was a nobody. All right.
Yeah.
And that wasn't even me either. I know some of them I did as like some of my things,
Right.
but
See, I was gonna say I couldn't it wouldn't have been me either because I can't deliver anything if it don't have a stamp on it.
Get the fuck out of here right now. I swear to God.
What?
Some days I just want to punch you.
Like there's so many, like all the thoughts in
I
my
did it
head
right.
are rushing to the front because somebody wants to makes a shitty comment. But
It's a mailman joke.
it is a mailman.
Not everybody can do mailman
That's
jokes.
why they are mailmen because they're shitty comics.
I swear, if your boss hears this, they will probably fire you because of that.
Mailman.
No, I mean it was good. It was good comedic timing. Look, you got to
Right.
give him
Don't
that.
fucking
A mailman joke is
feed
all
his
about the
ego.
delivery.
Get the fuck out. Like I know we signed a year lease here, but I will walk. Oh my goodness. That's worse than a dad joke.
No, it's not.
Yes, it was.
I'm trying to think of something.
What's green and has wheels?
A green car.
Grass. I lied about the wheels.
Get the fuck out. It should just be me in here right now.
That was really good, Lonnie. Really good.
Oh, I didn't have this problem with your wives.
What was wrong with that? there was something, I think it didn't come through entirely, where he explained the rules to them. And I was like, I think that's the first time on the entire...
He's only had to explain them once.
Yeah. And they
We're
got
like,
it.
what the fuck? I guess we'll just do it 3/4 through the game.
got
Oh,
it.
I got it.
I will
Thank
tell
you.
It was very uncomfortable, some of the topics we were talking about with your like kids right there in the background. I'm like, I didn't think this was going to happen, but okay.
All right, Jeremy, I want to pass things over to you. Did you catch it, man? Got it. Okay.
Got it.
So earlier
16
this
throws
month, we had a little release. Do you want to talk about that?
I had a release.
Usually
early-
every night.
earlier this
Sometimes it's in a
morning.
tissue. Sometimes it's in my belly button.
I'll clean it up when I wake up.
My shoes have never been whiter. Yeah. So we finally released our debut film for Shorty Films called One More Body. That we released it on July 2nd, 20 days ago already. And wow, I will tell you what, I am so happy and proud of the response it got.
Yeah, it's almost already over 1,000 views on
We're
YouTube.
almost at 1,300 views.
In less than 24 hours, we got like 700, and then
Yeah.
like the next day, did we break 1,000?
Yeah, it
next
was.
day?
It was shortly after 24 hours. We were over 1,000 views.
I think that's more than every single one of our podcast episodes
Well, yeah, I know.
What are you talking about?
collectively.
BPT gets so much tang.
Listener an episode.
Yeah.
Tang.
Is that a thing anymore?
My mouth is salivating thinking of Tang.
Astronaut.
If we would have got anywhere between 100 and 200 views in the first day, the first 24 hours of releasing it, I was going to be happy. We had over like 200 views within the first hour, and it was just like all day I kept like refreshing the page, and every time I'd refresh it, there's like 20 more views, 30 more views, and it was crazy. If anybody listening also viewed the movie, I mean, thank you for doing that. But yeah, and not only that, I mean, it's getting nothing but positive reviews. A lot of people too, some of the people that were part of it were posting the links, which we could probably on this episode, if Justin remembers, post links to the YouTube page for it. But they were posting them in Facebook groups of filmmaking things all over. There was like people talking about how like this is a prime example of what a short film should be. The pacing, just everything that was in it, character development, story development, all that stuff. They're like, this is a prime example of what it should be. And I mean, that's just a testament to what everybody that was part of this, what talented people can do. So,
right. And you got to give yourself a lot of this credit, which I don't think you've stopped and been able to do. A lot of that, and at the time you were so not, I can't say frustrated. Frustrated's the wrong word, but give yourself the credit that some of the times it was going wrong, like timing was running way over.
There was some anxiety, I'm sure.
But the thing was, you worked that time and you weren't happy until you got the shot you wanted. And that's the product that we got in the end. And it was perfect. And people understood that. Like at the end of the day, they didn't care if they had to stay an extra hour or 2 hours. You got the majority. I can't say you got the exact vision you wanted on some of the shots, but you got the best possible vision that we could have achieved. And you didn't give yourself the time to stop and look at it and go, wow, this is great. I think until those numbers started coming in that you were able to go, holy shit, this is good. And that's such a relieving thing, especially since you edit it. You did the majority of the stuff on it until Alexander was able to get his hands on it and start putting music to it.
Turned it to fucking solid gold.
Absolutely. And see, that statement right there is another statement that you're not giving yourself enough credit for it. Saying he made it solid gold. Yes, he made it fucking fantastic, but he couldn't have done that if it wasn't for you. You manned the ship. Like, we helped because you had us working on your vision. And he put sound to your vision. So you need to give yourself more credit for that. That's a fucking awesome film that you made.
You're right. And I want to take a bit of your credit out of that because there is also awesome talent who worked on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Small cast is so much easier to do with small cast.
Oh, absolutely.
You can get a lot more. But
I'll take nothing against. And Justin, me and you did awesome too. He couldn't have did it without us.
You did amazing.
I did.
Yeah. What were you doing?
I ate so many snacks. Like, that was the whole thing I did there. I ate snacks, and I'm not taking anything away from Sydney or Nick or Justin or anybody else who had their hands in that film. The only reason why I'm gushing you up is because you will never do that to yourself. You will never give yourself that moment to go, yeah, this is fucking great. I did this. Because you're too fucking humble.
I just feel it's selfish because it was my idea. I wrote the story down, but some people on set and whatnot, they give their input. But yeah, it was my vision and I edited it, but without everybody else, it's just words on paper.
Well, I mean, it's your ship, and you're the captain of that ship. We're just there to make your vision come to life.
Well, I appreciate that. I mean,
take my cock. Take my cock.
I thought
only one of those actually came out of my mouth.
I'm not doing it right if it's coming out of your mouth. No,
you don't know how my body works.
I don't know. So we have One More Body, which is going to be, I've submitted it to 3 festivals, one of which I'm pretty sure it's going to get accepted to. And then the other 2, I don't know. One of them is in Chicago, and it's like their second year doing it. And I was looking at the first year, and I feel that that'd be a fun one. Chicago's not far. It's within driving distance. The only issue is these things, 2 of them take place in October, which is the busiest month of the year for me when it comes to work. But I love my work and whatnot, but I love filmmaking and entertaining more than that. So if I have the opportunity to go to a festival, I'm going to the festival, even if it's during the busy time of the year at work. But I'm excited to see if it gets accepted there. We're still working on The Last Goodbye, which is the story that you wrote, Lonnie, that we filmed back in November that we got COVID from.
That one's been a little bit of a struggle.
It has been.
We couldn't really do anything with it, mainly because One More Body, that was the first one that was filmed, and we wanted to get that one out. And plus, we maximized our schedule with the Boundless PodTrap, and now we just we let a lot of stuff off of our shoulders to focus on reaching both directions.
Well, and it's
reach arounds.
with The Last Goodbye, Lonnie, you edited it, but that was your first time trying. It was just a practice thing, and it wasn't terrible.
I was just fucking around with it, honestly. Just I've never worked with an editing software before,
and it was not bad. But it's just like I'm with Shorty Films. I'm going to be very picky.
Anal. Say anal.
Anal. I'm going to be very anal. I'm going to take it anally.
Boom. Lonnie, say pussy. Pussy. Say pussy.
No.
He's working something in his head that he's going to edit together with this.
I'm not. I will never say that. I'll say cunt all day long, but.
Anyways, so I edited The Last Goodbye 3 times, and I just wasn't happy with it, so I deleted it. I passed it on to Justin because he's got a unique taste with editing, and I thought maybe that's what we need. But the problem with The Last Goodbye is audio. It's terrible. It's terrible acoustics. The equipment we had probably wasn't the greatest. We were also spoiled with Jeremy Wade Rodman, who did sound for One More Body.
Yeah, but that was part of my fault too, because I funded all of The Last Goodbye, and I'm just not the big cash roller that Jeremy is.
I
don't work. I don't have what you people would call a real job.
A gynecologist is a real job.
But other things that we have in the work too. So we're going to try to be submitting something to the Omaha Film Festival for 2022. I wrote a script. I have it cast. We have the location. We have a tentative date that we're going to film it by. So we've been working on that. Justin has a script he submitted that we're going to start looking at trying to get in pre-production. And then if you notice on the wall behind me, all this stuff is for Colden, the next feature-length film. So yeah, that's going to, as you can tell, that's going to be a lot. So we got a lot on the plate here.
We have the space for all this pre-planning, which is just more motivating. Like coming to a space to, let our fluids run. Creative fluids, could I say?
Thank God we have carpet. Oh, wait, no, we would want wood floors.
That's a good thing about this place, too, is like you won't have to pick up any dog bombs in here.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
It's cool. Your dog
There wasn't many dog bombs. I don't remember any dog bombs at your place.
There were some.
It definitely.
I think I stepped on one and
that was my roast beef sandwich.
Roast beef.
Yeah, that's another thing too. Is a lot of people don't know this, but I moved 70 miles away, so my trips to the Omaha area are less frequent than before. I still try to get up here a couple days a week, but
that's one of the reasons why we wanted to back things off too. Is just to pretty much maximize our time. Right. That way we can get more quality into our podcasts to help entertain you guys, keep you guys in the loop. We're promoting BPT and short e-films, so like both.
Yeah, and to those that don't know, when we started this, we released a podcast every other Monday. Well, then we did the movie review, so we could release one every Monday. So it was like the regular podcast one Monday, the movie review the next, and back and forth. So what we're doing is we're actually going to cut back to the whole every other week. And are we still releasing it on Monday, or did we decide to do Wednesdays?
I don't mind Mondays.
Okay.
I think if listeners would prefer it at a later date, Tuesdays or Wednesdays, those are the 3 days I'd rather stick with, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. But I will have enough time to edit now, so it shouldn't be more of an issue, and we can flex our studio times. We have an option of 2 different weeks. So
yeah, so like one Monday or Wednesday, whatever it is, we'll say Monday for the sake of this. One Monday will be the regular podcast. 2 weeks from then will be the movie review. 2 weeks from that, regular podcast. 2 weeks from that. So you're getting basically a movie review and a regular podcast, one each every month. I think it'll be good if things pick up or whatever, we could start doing things again. I do want to mention this, that we will be having a special video. I should back that up. We still plan on doing a punishment for Justin. It's very hard to get this thing going. We have busy schedules. We may have to change his punishment. I don't know. But we'll be doing a punishment video for him soon for losing the games. But we're also going to be doing sometime here in the near future a special video of us. Lonnie, why don't you explain what's happening here?
So I broke some laws that I'm not going to discuss because I don't want to incriminate myself or anybody else.
And just so you know, Justin, I had nothing to do with this.
Nobody had anything to do with this because I wanted it to be as much of a surprise as possible.
I wasn't there. If I was sleeping.
But I purchased a mystery box, and we are going to open it on episode 30 of video. And it is not a typical mystery box. So we have no idea what could be in this mystery box. Could be junk, could be good stuff.
All I'm saying is I'm very uncomfortable with this because I've watched
You're uncomfortable
YouTube.
About everything.
Justin's uncomfortable with it too. Don't be sitting over there quiet like you're not not comfortable with this. I'm excited with it. It's something different and unique, but
right.
I already expressed my...
Well, I can't return it at this point.
No.
Especially since it costs like 3,000 Bangladeshi taka.
Right.
So I just told you
4 million pesos.
I've expressed what is going to be my displeasure if something like that is in the box. And when we do the video, before we open the mystery box, I'm going to explain if something like this is in this box, I'm out.
If it's crawling around... If it's a dismemberment.
He just hates pictures of golden retrievers. Just absolutely despises them.
This is going to be like the Reddit 50-50.
I like the brown labs.
Real life.
No, but so I bought a mystery box. We're going to open it on video. It could be fun. It could be a dud. It could be creepy. It could not be creepy. I picked the seller with the best reviews.
I don't know if that's a good thing or not. The best reviews.
The best reviews.
They probably make their own.
And one of I was reading some of them. One of them said this was super creepy shit, And that excited me because I would rather get one with creepy shit in it opposed to something with like drugs or weapons or T-shirts from the Dollar Tree.
Well, that's the thing. Is like I don't know which way to lean with this. If it's like fake or if it's real. I'm sure some of them are fake. I'm sure some of them are real, but
I feel like all of us are going to have blue balls by the end from the chemicals that you ingest and when you
I thought we were playing racquetball.
No, darts.
I get it.
I finally get that. I think you threw that past me for like 5 years or so, and I don't know if never mind. Go ahead, keep going, lawn dog.
But anyway, I didn't spend an exorbitant amount of money on it, so it'll be fun. Hopefully,
right.
If not.
You said that should be arriving in the next,
We'll probably have it by the next episode. Yeah, it was supposed to be here Tuesday, and it might get here this week. It could be next week. I could not get it at all, but so we'll see. I might get screwed.
Nice. Sometimes that's good.
Yes.
Eat it. So you've heard us talking about, well, obviously you know what the Boundless PodTrap, otherwise why the hell are you listening to this? But we've been talking about short e-films, which has been an up-and-coming thing. We have a new person thingy now. Yeah. We now share space with the sound guy who's been helping us with some of the media content, our short films and stuff.
I'm sitting at his desk.
And he has his own brand called Local Rad, which is a very awesome concept. I don't know if you're familiar with this, Lonnie.
Nope.
I'll give you a brief description of it. So Local Rad, it's a radical way of bringing local music to the ears of listeners. Pretty much what it is, and he can correct me on this, but as I understand it, it is an app. Local Rad, it's an app. So you learn yourself some local music. And I think it goes by GPS. So if you're ever in an area of, like, let's say we're going to Chicago for a film fest, we can get the local Chicago area music that's all submitted to that. It doesn't go further past, I forget exactly what the mileage is, but it has a very awesome concept. And
is it like a Spotify setup?
In a sense, there is going to be I believe there is a premium feature that will give you the option of like skipping, but it's kind of more like a radio. Like I think from how I understand it, once you press play and it's already like halfway into a song or something. So
it's a live feed.
Yeah, yeah. I believe it's still also in the infant stages, so I don't know if it's available on any stores or if you have to look into Local Rad to get a link.
If I remember correctly, part of the reason why he wanted to go in on this space with us was because he wanted to mainly work on Local Rad,
right,
so he can get it off because it is in such the infant stage, as you said. And I mean, he's been working on a lot of stuff since we've been here, and it's intriguing to see where it goes.
For sure.
I had told him that.
He's a man of many talents.
I told him he should put us on there as the DJs.
We're going to fuck shit up. But yeah, no, Local Rad. Again, a radical way of bringing local music to the ears of listeners.
This next track is from our featured artist, Ariel Grande.
They might have, depending on where she's at.
I don't know why that was funny to me as much as it was. Oh, man. This would be a nice segue into another topic. Slow turn towards Lonnie.
Yeah. I pick up what you're laying down. Yeah, I'm going to blow your guys' fucking minds with this one. It's going to be fun.
You just gave him an audio clip. I'm going to blow
your minds. Anyway, so yeah, I got a topic. It's not going to be a super, super long topic, but in the description below this episode, there's going to be some links to these people I talk about. But boys, we're going to take a magical ride into the world of what they call outsider music.
I don't like this ride.
Yeah, it's an interesting ride.
NWO.
So, outsider music. How I got into outsider music is when I was young, maybe 10, 11 years old, I would go into my local Sam Goodies or FYE or whatever.
Oh, I miss Sam Goody.
Yeah, wherever sold compilation CDs. And I would buy compilations because I would want to learn music from a bunch of different people and kind of go down that hole and learn new bands, blah, blah, blah. And I found this CD called In the Key of Z. And I'm like, this could be fun. And when I got home, I listened to it. I was so enamored by it. And In the Key of Z is not your typical CD. It was full of what they refer to as outsider music. What outsider music is music that is so far beyond the popular scale. It's so weird and eclectic and so niche music that no one will ever find out about it, or they'll never notice it.
Like how far, what do you mean? Like, is it more like experimental, or?
It can be.
Right.
It's just most of the musicians are self-taught.
Right.
Most of them will never be noticed. Most of them will only do shows for 5 or 10 people. It's such a culture that it kind of became its own thing.
So
is there a level of like popularity that you get if you are an outside music artist?
Absolutely
that you're no
not.
longer an outside music?
No, because it never caught on.
All right.
Because it's the majority, 90% of it is terrible.
Yeah, I would say like it just depends on. It only takes one listen, depending on who that person is, before it's no longer outside music.
Right, until it becomes popular.
It's like, oh, you need a record.
And one of these bands I'm going to talk about kind of hit that thing. They were so weird. They actually got noticed by Adult Swim. And then Adult Swim were like, you're too crazy to not be noticed. We're going to use you to just weird people out. And they're like, oh, yeah, sure, whatever. We're not going to change. So they went from playing shows with 3 people and creeping them out to now they're on Adult Swim 4 times a night, and they're making millions of dollars playing their weird songs.
So I'm assuming that the quality of this music is not the greatest, because I'm assuming they don't have money to go into a recording studio. So do these people that make outsider music, do they like record it themselves in their basement on like a tape recorder? Or
so I have 4 different bands I'm going to talk about, and these 4 bands all come from different levels of the outsider music. So I'm just going to bust into these 4. These are 4 bands that I absolutely love and that I wanted to present to you guys. And like I said, I'm going to play you guys the music here, but everyone listening at home will link these in.
Is there like, we really can't play it? Like, do you think we're going to get flagged for it? If these
No, they're just all like a minute or 2 minutes long. I don't want to waste the listener's time. So the first person I'm going to bring up, his name's Wesley Willis, guy from New York, absolute cherished man, an older black gentleman who had a stroke. And he was just so grateful to be alive. And something clicked in his brain after his stroke that he wanted to make music. And he was so happy.
Justin, what are you going to say? You have a smirk on there.
Well, he said an older black gentleman, and the picture is an older white man.
A different one then. Is it a white dude?
This one is. Bingo Gazingo?
No, Wesley Willis.
I thought you said The More I Love You.
No, we're starting with Wesley Willis.
All right. Keep it going.
Okay.
Is he black?
There shouldn't be. It should just be a picture on this one. So Wesley Willis, he had a stroke, and then he started making music. His songs were about certain things that he remembered, and they just all, like, he could only focus on such things. He forgot most all of his life, but there are certain things he remembered, and he wanted to write songs about them. So he wrote this song called Rock and Roll McDonald's, and I'd like you to check it out. All right. So if you listen through it, you're listening along with us. That was Wesley Willis, Rock and Roll McDonald's. Literally just stuff he remembers about McDonald's.
So I have a theory about that song after listening to it.
Sure, go for it.
What was his name? Wesley
Willis.
Wesley Willis. I don't think that was Wesley Willis. I think that was Samuel L. Jackson. And I think that he did this after they recorded Pulp Fiction. After the car scene.
You know, it sounds a lot like Biz Markie. If you really listen to it, it kind of sounds like Biz Markie.
Didn't he just die?
I don't know.
Well, let's all do our best impression of that. Rock and roll McDonald's.
That was Rock and roll McDonald's.
I was kind of grinning because it
That's
reminded me.
Up. Is that what you said? I didn't beat up.
Hold on, I was going
yeah, fucker.
I was grinning because it reminded me of a mentally handicapped person who I stole a cassette
now
tape
you're
from.
stealing from him. This fucking
I didn't know it was
guy.
his, man. I didn't know it was his. So when I was younger, see, I don't approve of my actions way back then. Okay. So no, and this dude, it was another one of those types of people, but he was kind of talented.
One of those types of people.
One of those types of people who like try to use their disability to. It's kind of like how people would use like stolen valor or something. He wasn't. He was legitimately.
No,
he had
I
some
get
issues.
it. I get what
I
you're
thought
saying.
he was pretty cool back in the day. And then I remember.
Then I stole from him.
I didn't know he lived there, you know? But, like, I broke into the house across from, like, one of the. Well, there was, like, nobody there at the time, I guess. No, we had to clean out this roof. So my dad did construction, and pretty much when you get into the place, if there's nobody there, I mean, like, you pretty much get first dibs because everything is going to go to the trash. So if there's anything that's good, then cool. So I pretty much went up into like the attic area where we were going to work, and there was all these cassette tapes, and I took a whole box, and then some of them were like recorded over. It was this dude, Nicholas or something, and he lived like down the street diagonal from us, and pretty much on the next block over. And he was pretty good at the piano, but he would always like make up little songs and stuff. He's like, "Walking on the rainbow, I love you," and I was like, "Wow, okay." He has like a whole album. I don't have it anymore, but
Nice. So not only are you stealing from him, you're mocking his.
I didn't know it was his, man.
Only fun. Right?
Man, I could have.
So we got a couple more bands to go over here. This next band, it's one of those, like, his name's Bingo Garzingo. I'm sure that's not his name. If it is, awesome. His parents, a little bit out there, but he's a little bit out there. So to start, he was... homeless is not the right word to say. Vagrant's not the right word to say, but just a very down on his luck old man, really no teeth, would go into these coffee shops or buildings that had open poetry nights or open mic nights, and he would just go in and do his poetry and then start singing his poetry and yelling his poetry. And then all of a sudden, the like late 90s, early 2000 hipsters started falling in love with him because he's batshit crazy. And they would at first it was almost one of those mocking him type things until they all started loving him. So it started in a place of like uncomfort and ended in a place of love.
And this is his song, Rock and Roll Pizza Hut.
No, this is his song, The More I Love You More.
That was beautiful.
Dude, and that's probably his best song. You could cut it.
I don't even think you can call that a song.
I could probably recite the rest of the lyrics.
Well, like that's one of his.
Is anybody else envisioning a horse talking? The more I love you.
That's like that piece of quote unquote music is one of his better pieces. He's got like 10-minute, 11-minute sets where he just goes up and he's like, that toaster is flaming. You're flaming. I like toast. Toast is good. Butter on toast. Oh, butter. There's a frog. Ooh, frog. And that's like his set. And you can listen to like 15 minutes of him doing this with notes in his hand that he never looks at. He just holds paper.
So would you consider people like Reggie Watts outside music?
No, because he has a following. None of these people.
Now he does.
There's only, like, the next two bands we're going to cover, they have quote-unquote followings, but for the wrong reasons.
So they got kicked out of the group of outside music artists?
Well, no, they just ascended past it.
Oh, so you can ascend.
Yeah.
The more I love you.
The more I love
Do
you.
they have parties for their
The more I
ascension?
love you more. So he actually did. He met like a techno musician called Mr. Robot who takes him on tour when he goes on, and he just plays his techno, dresses up like a robot, plays his techno, and then has him come out on stage and just fucking ramble for an hour. And that's his set.
If I went to a place that I paid money for and that guy came out,
I love you more.
I would be rioting.
I hate that when you go to actual bands that you paid to see and then they have an opener and you're like, really? Really?
So, but sometimes that can be gold.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm introduced
you learn
to some
bands that are really good.
I'll give you a prime example. Ed Sheeran. He was nobody. He was nobody until Taylor Swift.
Oh, he was nobody until Game of Thrones.
I don't watch.
I learned about him in Game of Thrones. That was about it.
The more I love. We need to get him.
The more I love you.
We need to get. Is he still? Did you say he's still alive?
I probably.
He looks.
He
like
released a video like 2 years ago, but he's not looking good.
Can you?
He looks
like my
He looks like a piece of gum that's stuck to your shoe.
Lonnie,
He's pretty
I am
haggard.
100% serious when I say this to you.
Look up.
Since
Try to get his
you
contact
even said
info.
that you don't work and don't do anything.
Hey, I do
Your
stuff.
job is to between watching YouTube videos,
That's product research.
You need to find that guy and see if we can get him to record an intro for the podcast. Like, the more you listen to the Boundless PodTrap.
Hello, Jamie. This is a cameo from Bingo Razingo.
This is my turn to say get out. Get the fuck out of here.
This is Bingo. And this is Chuck.
And here was his name-o.
All right. Wait.
That dude looks like my no-no.
Your what?
Your dick?
My no-no. He looks like my grandpappy.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. The next band we're going to talk about is kind of one of the success stories of outsider music. One of the things I love about this, and it's the same thing with my cinema choices, I love B movies. Like, the more absurd it is, the more I love it. Same way with my comedy. The more absurd it is, I love it.
Same thing about your cock.
Yeah, the more awkward it is when I get hard, the better.
I love it.
It kind of curls up. I like to draw little eyeballs above the hole and stares at me.
Curls up and looks like a bagel.
Why do Jewish women like circumcised men?
Why?
Because they like anything that's 20% off.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're going to go in 2 songs from Clown Car. One is before they got popular, when they were just an outsider music. The next one is going to be from when they were picked up by Adult Swim. They were just your typical weird outsider music band. Adult Swim picked them up and goes, yeah, you're crazy enough to be on Adult Swim, and then market them then to the world. So in the link, this is Clown Car. Start with You Have Cankles, and then listen to Twitter. So that's Clown Car, fellas. The first decent musicians of the group.
We still have like 9 minutes left on that one.
That's the compilation of all of their songs.
Gotcha.
I can, with 100% sincerity, say that I can 1,000% get behind that band.
All right, they're fun.
That they're fun, they're funny, and they actually
good.
have musical talent.
Right. And from coming from outsider music, there's not very many musicians who get good enough to be able to rise to the talent they're at and get noticed.
I can see that they got probably a lot of Mike Patton influences with that.
Absolutely.
Because he's so random like
by
that.
By putting his dick on the keyboard.
Letting it play out.
He's pulled his junk out on stage many times and done a lot of that. They pretty much started a lot of the clown mask, randomized, going from hard to soft in the same song and, just random stuff. It's like, that's so cool. It's out there. It is. Yeah.
I lost my shit when it cut to the outside of the porta potty.
All right. Well, I'm glad you guys enjoyed that one because
we're not going to enjoy the next
We're going to
one.
bring it home with the last band we're going to talk about. And this last band, the story about them. This is the Shags, and they're probably the most publicized and well-known band when it comes to outsider music. And the story behind the Shags are their father, a very well-to-do businessman, went to a psychic and wanted to get his future told. He went to the psychic, and the psychic went, "Oh, you have 3 daughters." And he's like, yes, I do. How'd you know? And he's like, your 3 daughters are going to be the best band in the world.
Dixie Chicks?
And he's like, you do whatever you have to do.
You mean Hanson?
They're so good. You do whatever you have to do. It doesn't matter what it takes, but you get them to the top of the charts. So this very well-to-do man sold their house, quit his job, sold all their cars to buy instruments for the girls, to buy a touring van, to put them in a studio. The girls didn't know how to play instruments. They were barely teenagers at the time, and they put them in the studio to record music. You have the video up, right, Justin?
It's just an image.
Okay, how many views does the video have? Probably over 700,000?
Yeah.
So this is probably...
2 mil.
2 million?
2.5.
Okay. So Clowncore had a lot because it was on Adult Swim. Bingo Garzingo maybe had 7,000, if generous. Same thing with Rock and Roll McDonald's. It probably had 100,000, 200,000. But this, having 2 million views, this is as popular as outsider music gets. They're kind of like when you say outsider music to anyone who's a fan of it, just goes, Yeah, the Shags. And they always talk about this song, My Pal Foot Foot. Like when you get introduced to outsider music, if you can get through this song, you are officially indoctrinated into the class of outsider music. So, without further ado, here is My Pal Foot Foot by the Shags. This is 100% real. This is not a parody. This is not a joke. This is what the psychic told the father was going to be the hit song to make them millionaires.
Pressure is on.
Oh. Here we go.
And there you go.
Scuzzy.
So looking them up, I didn't realize this was like back in the day.
Yeah, like 50s, 60s.
Because there's a reunion and they're all like old now. They have a freaking the Shags stage musical. These chicks.
Do they really?
Yes.
Nice.
They have a traveling stage musical where people portray them and play their songs.
Sounds
quotations.
challenging.
And so they made it. I mean, obviously are making money off of this. If there's
in some way, shape, or form, I guess that's true.
There's a stage musical about them.
The psychic was correct.
There's something. I mean, it's novelty, so people will flock to novelty. If it sounds different, they
right.
You know.
Well, and it's got 2 million views, so you got to know there's other assholes like me out there going, "Oh, you want to hear a song? I'll show you a song."
Holy shit, guys! They're making a movie.
Are they making a movie about the Shags?
Actress Elsie Fisher in the Shags movie.
Absolutely.
Okay. I got to do more research on that.
Fan-fucking-tastic. Front row seats. COVID be damned. We're going to the movies, boys.
They're in Austin Powers? No, I was just pulling that one out my ass. Well, interesting picks. Interesting picks.
Yeah, so that's outsider music, guys. I hope you enjoyed it.
I will listen to Clowncore more often.
It's fun.
It is.
They're very squirrely. They have like a not as dancey or bouncy when it like mindless self-indulgence, but they have like the change it on a riff type of thing. It's like, that's cool.
MSI is fantastic.
They're squirrely too.
They're very squirrely.
I like squirrely music.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Squirrely music is cool.
Dog fashion disco. And, yeah. Well, that was fun, boys.
Thank you. You guys want to pull something else out of your booties?
Yeah, I'm going to pee first, though.
Oh, okay.
I kind of want to go get some Skittles.
Skittles? We're going to make a potty break. I'm going to stop it. All right. And we're back from a potty break.
Pee.
Yeah. Ooh, scuzzy. Grab a little snacks, get a little fuel, get ready to
Y'all
peed
in a line.
Bathroom talk with our motivating halftime speech. Good words.
It's so much better to pee in our own separate toilets and not all pee in Lonnie's toilet
at the same time. Yeah, my knees would hurt when we did that.
I thought you said your niece. I'm like, what the fuck?
No, my knees. You guys couldn't keep a solid stream, so it was never fun.
I could.
Oh,
it's just
garlic.
It's just I have to lean forward just to pee because of the boner.
Yeah. Get the bone zone. That's what women will never understand, that struggle of like waking up with morning wood and having to pee at the same time.
Like, I didn't ask for this.
Do you press it down or do you like bend over?
I just wait.
You just face the shower.
Super secret level up mode. You sit down to pee and you tuck it between your legs.
That doesn't help.
But then it's like touching the toilet and everything.
You're just wiping all.
I mean, that's what baby wipes are for.
What? Clean your
toilet.
They're not.
They're not?
What baby wipes are for?
You just jam that shit like you're singing Wild Horses and just pee.
Nope.
And then it's fun. You sit up and you let it go and it's like, party!
Everywhere.
Party or potty?
There's the math.
No, it's a party. He's like, surprise! Jack in the box. Literally Jack in the box.
It's out of the box now. Recently, I had a run-in with another customer. So,
happened to be special needs. Fucking took his wallet. It was awesome.
No,
he
this
tried
guy
morphing on me and shit.
This dude
he asked me if I like Hot Wheels. Stuck one up his ass.
Were you guys there? Or?
Yeah.
No, so I went to go stop at one of the businesses. Have you guys ever ate at like Big Way Chicken?
Oh, this guy.
Big Way Chicken? I
Big Way
love chicken, but
the
no.
owner of Big Way Chicken, like, he came out, like, okay, so I park in front of his business, and then I go out and make my little stops, and then I jump back in and leave. I'm only there for like a minute, and his business is closed. I've only seen him maybe 5 times in the, year that I've been delivering to him. And then, like, he came out one time, and he's like, I told you one time I was going to block you in. Like, he has, like, this thick, like...
Irish accent.
African accent, And, well, if you're trying to block... it's kind of a felony if you're trying to stop the mail. So that's one thing. And then I'm also encouraged not to back up because that's how a lot of carriers have their accidents. So since I'm only in and I'm providing a service for him by giving him his mail and stuff, I just stop in front of his place since there are absolutely no cars there. And then I've ran into him maybe like 5 times. The last time, I thought he was just fucking with me. Because he said like, I'm going to block you in one time. And I'm like, yeah, all right, cool. Have a good day. And
I don't think you know how African people sound.
No, I do. I was there.
I block you in.
Yeah.
So you sound like you've got your African accent from playing too much Punch-Out when you're growing up.
Oh, I guess it depends on what African, because there's different accents. They don't all sound the same.
I know.
There's this one who was like from around like Djibouti, and he used to have like this, no, you can't do that.
No, like, speaking of Africans, I learned this the other day from a very close friend of mine. It was Holly. You remember Holly from The Last Goodbye?
Yeah.
We were talking about the click because the click. We were talking about like how they click their tongue.
Okay.
That is actually after every vowel. That's what that click is. So when they pronounce a vowel like A-E-I-O-U, that's what the click is. So they'd be like So the E, both E's, are the E sound and a click. So that's what that click is. It's the vowel sound is the click.
I still don't understand why that's a thing.
Yeah, this guy was
just part of their. It's just part of their dialect. It's just part of their speech.
So how the fuck would they say my name?
Dickhead.
I think they were saying your name to me then.
I'm looking at this Big Way Chicken. There's a picture on Google of the inside of it. It's empty, which if the owner is anything like you say he is, that's probably why, because he's a dick. I've been in this place before looking at it now.
It used to be like something chicken. Or, sorry.
Pizza.
Coco, whatever company.
Didn't it used to be
Chicken
pizza?
Co. Chicken company or something. But, yeah, so the owner came out and he's just started like, cussing me out. He's like, you are a fucking prick. You are a fucking prick. I'm like,
he's
okay.
not wrong.
I rolled my window down and he approached my vehicle and he's putting his hand in towards me. And I'm like, all right, what's up? He's like, I told you, I took pictures of this. When I signed the contract here, it says I have exposure to the street. I'm like, you do have exposure to the street. I'm not blocking anything. He's like, my sign is supposed to face the street. And I'm like, it can still, I don't have time to come back here and teach you math or anything, but this 8-foot truck is not blocking your 15-foot sign. Like, people can see it. The only person who cannot see this is who standing directly on the other side of this vehicle in front of your place. But, he starts going back at it like, you're fucking pretty. Like, he's raising his voice. I'm like, you have plenty of exposure now. Like, people are looking at you. You're supposed to be the owner, and you're out here cursing somebody who's trying to provide you a service. All right, whatever. But, yeah, he starts going out more, so I just back up. I'm like, bye.
He just plugged this guy's restaurant. So now you plugged it on the Boundless PodTrap. So you just did him a service.
I did. He said he wanted people to know who he was.
But how are they going to see it if your car is parked underneath the sign?
Underneath the sign? Full exposure?
I think we should go there sometime.
Yeah, I did. Well, before I did,
him out on his bullshit.
I was like, if I come by here for lunch, are you going to spit at my food?
It's like, I didn't see the sign. I was going to come by, but I didn't see the sign.
I should go in the next time you deliver. I should go in there and be like, God, I would have been here a half hour ago, but some fucking mailman truck is blocking the goddamn sign. You'd be like, exactly.
I didn't know it was chicken. It just said Icken. That didn't sound appealing at all.
I just saw Big Way.
Fun stuff. Anyways, let's move into a topic. We've played this one before. It's not really a game. It's a segment.
Yeah.
You thought we forgot about that. Let's bring up some stuff from the past.
Don't do that with your hand. That frightens me.
Jeremy.
Every time someone goes to high-five me or does that, it's like my little Jew heart skips a beat. Hey, ah!
Mein Fuhrer.
You thought we forgot.
Yeah. Do you want to go first?
Do I want to go first?
I don't know. Do you? I'm asking you.
Oh, okay.
That's usually not a question Jeremy has to ask because he's always going first.
So I know a lot of times we pick like an event or something maybe global that was a popular thing, but I'm going a different route. This is something that was very heartbreaking to me and confusing at the same time when this event happened. I just didn't quite get why such a catastrophe like this could happen. And what's even more so is I can't believe the amount of people that forgot this happened.
Is it the first time you've seen a vagina?
Close. I'm talking about that 4-month period when Kid Rock was married to Pamela Anderson.
Oh.
See, you forgot about it, didn't you?
No, I remember it. I'm trying to think if she did a porn with him. Like, 'cause she did a porn with everybody
Nobody
else.
would ever want to see that.
My name is
They would not want to see him. No, it's
every time I think of Kid Rock, I'm always reminded of that music video where he gets hit in the head with like a toilet seat. It's in his video, and he just takes it to the face.
It's slow-mo.
Yeah,
and
it's
slow
like,
music.
Is that
it's like the,
a music video, or is that his family reunion?
It's a music video where, well, it probably happens so often, but it's a music, what was it? Only God Knows Why or something like that. Takes it to the dome. Boom.
So Pamela Anderson was like my first celebrity crush as a kid. Watched her on Baywatch as CJ Parker. And the funny thing about that is Baywatch was on at like 11 o'clock Sunday nights. My bedtime was 10 p.m. And I would always pretend like I fell asleep on the couch because my dad would watch Baywatch. I would always pretend like I fell asleep on the couch and just hope to God like my mom or dad didn't wake me up and be like, okay, Jeremy, go to bed. I would sleep because my mom was out there watching it with them too. I'd have one eye closed, closest to them, and I had my other eye open just so I could watch Pamela Anderson.
They always knew he was awake because he was humping the crease of the cushions.
Yeah, somebody was awake.
You're
on
pitching a tent over there.
You know, she was hot, but the hottest
His
girl
mom?
on that, I have to give it that. I think Carmen Electra was the hotter Baywatch babe.
I mean, that's probably my preference as well.
Yasmin Bleeth. She was, but
yeah.
have you seen her nowadays?
Yasmin Bleeth?
She's like,
give me that bag of skin.
she's like 400 pounds now. But no, then WWF had Pamela Anderson.
Oh,
She
walking
was-
out with Shawn Michaels.
It was the 1994 Royal Rumble where the winner of the Royal Rumble was going to be escorted at WrestleMania by Pamela Anderson.
Yep.
And Shawn Michaels won.
Michaels won it.
I
yeah.
had the biggest, even that was when my crush on her was the absolute highest. And I watched that Royal Rumble probably like a million times.
Was
back
that the Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels Iron Man?
No, it would have been
is it the two
WrestleMania 11, Shawn Michaels versus Diesel.
Diesel, okay.
And Jenny McCarthy was there too. Like Jenny McCarthy came out with Shawn Michaels, and then Pamela Anderson came out with Diesel.
Talking about my fucking first boners, women.
Shawn Michaels?
Shawn Michaels.
Well, I mean,
Big
he
Daddy
is-
Cool.
that fucking hand. Every one time
Do
he
you
did
feel
this, I'm thinking he's fucking getting down.
Do you feel like Borat when you...
I want to make love goose on your stomach.
The thing is then she married Tommy Lee, the drummer from
Yes,
Motley Crue.
Yeah.
That pissed me off.
We got a porn out of that one.
Yes. Yeah.
We
so
didn't. They
the thing
did.
is with Pamela Anderson and Kid Rock, they met in 2001. In 2003, they called off their first engagement. But in 2006, they got married on a yacht, and they were divorced 4 months later. They were a pretty psychotic couple.
Duh.
Not to be a dick, though. That's not a divorce. That is an annulment. You get 1 year before it's technically considered a divorce.
Well, they didn't see eye to eye on things. The
You
reason
learned that in gynecology
The
school?
reason why they called off their first marriage is because Pamela Anderson didn't want to sign a prenuptial agreement. And then Kid Rock apparently several years later realized he ain't doing much better than Pamela Anderson, the hottest blonde at the time, biggest boobs. So he decided, okay, we'll get married. But apparently, like, she was vegan and he loved hunting. And so she didn't care for that too much. She made up having a miscarriage. She told Kid Rock she was pregnant, but she never really was. She had a miscarriage. And apparently, like a couple hours after she told him she had a miscarriage, she was out partying and drinking and all this stuff. She sounds crazy.
Yeah.
But the thing is like, it just baffled me. But I should really look at this as a good thing because
You could have ended up with her.
that's the thing. I think I'm better looking than Kid Rock. And if he can score her, There's no reason I can't score a Pamela Anderson.
Ain't no way you're better looking.
Isn't that
Get the fuck out of
isn't that funny though? Like you see some of these Hollywood women, and you're like, you are absolutely gorgeous, and you're making tons of money. How the fuck did you end up with that potato?
You must have a really nice personality.
No, a lot of times,
some of them maybe.
A lot of times it's a publicity stunt. But what is she gaining out of? I'm marrying Kid Rock, who makes shitty ass music and looks like the biggest white trash.
He looks like the Crypt Keeper. Like
he's
like a pale Crypt Keeper.
There's nothing she can gain from it. He can gain everything from it. But Absolutely. At the time, she wasn't really that popular.
He probably knew how to get meth. And that
could be.
He does kind of look like my brother Joe. And my brother Joe is kind of close to homeless.
And Joe know how to get meth.
Yeah, he does.
I am
sure.
I haven't.
Sorry if your brother Joe has a meth problem.
I don't think he has a problem.
Okay.
Pamela Anderson, I don't know if you've seen her nowadays. I mean, she's still, I wouldn't say no, but
say no to what?
She's
an annulment?
She's older. She's in mid-50s now, isn't she?
She's reaching his prime age.
Well, I mean, this is like you can tell some of the surgery she had,
scarring.
Like, it's kind of wearing off. So I think she's still beautiful, and like
Absolutely.
I said, I wouldn't say no. Let me look to see how much she is. How much she is. How much is she? She's 54 years old. Wow, I thought she would have been older than that.
A lot of those Hollywood starlets like that were so young when they were breaking into the business. They were 21, 22.
Well, yeah, because she was actually, her first thing was on Home Improvement, I think.
Maybe.
Remember
yeah. She was the tool girl.
Yeah, not Heidi, but whatever her name was on there.
Are you sure she wasn't Heidi? No, the other one was Heidi.
Heidi was the other one. But yeah, I definitely, she's apparently Dan Hayhurst is her. God, she's been married
probably 6 or 7 times at this point.
She has had
Lisa, the tool girl.
5 husbands.
In 2 years.
4. She married the same guy twice. Tommy Lee, then Kid Rock, Rick Salomon. Then they divorced, and then they got married again.
Because once you get Jew in you got to go back to it.
Well, it's crazy because she has 2 kids with Tommy Lee, and those kids look just like Tommy Lee. He got out of that whole thing. I mean, he's talented.
Absolutely.
Beyond belief. But
he definitely got recognized.
He got recognized, and now he's known as the guy that has the biggest cock from that right. sex video.
And the thing a lot of people don't know about Tommy Lee, and I only know this because my friend Andrew is actually quite good friends with Tommy Lee. I don't know how the kid who plays piano is such good friends with Tommy Lee. I think they were recording in
Did he go to UNL?
No.
Because remember Tommy Lee did a semester at the University of Nebraska at Lincoln, was on the drum line.
Was he really?
Yeah. It was back when he had a reality show, and he went there and played in the drum line.
I think Andrew met Tommy Lee. I think they were both recording in the same studio, and they just happened to meet, and they became buddies, like Tommy Lee's in one of his music videos.
Tommy Lee seems like he's
just a very
down-to-earth
cool
guy.
Dude, yeah.
Like,
somehow
very chill.
They're good friends.
So we can get Tommy Lee on the show?
No, absolutely not.
Talk about his cock?
Like, how big is it? Like, I know it's got length to it, but I want girth. Like, are we talking Red Bull can girth?
Let me call Pamela up real quick. I mean, I don't really want to type that in my Google history.
He does have a very impressive cock.
It's just that video is annoying. I'm assuming we've all seen it.
I haven't. I don't watch those types of things. So
he's just like, oh, bitch. I just remember him
bitch.
Talking really weird. And
take my cocky giant horse leg.
It's the worst sex tape there is because
that's not true.
No, it's worst quality. Worst quality because it was filmed with like the very first.
It was a shoulder cam.
It was.
Big old thing you see fucking news people with. They set it up on like a fucking tripod that they have to like put a cinder block on it. So it
luckily, he had a kickstand to hold him up.
That's the first celebrity sex tape I remember being brought to light. Like I don't remember any before that.
Well, she did the one with Bret Michaels before she did the one with Tommy Lee.
I have lost respect for her.
She did a sex tape, I think, with every single one of her guys, with exception of Kid Rock. That's why I was making that joke. Like,
yeah, because people
the Bret Michaels one, all you see is like her back and her butt crack. Like she was definitely cowgirl in that shit.
What's your favorite celebrity sex tape? Don't act, Justin, like you haven't watched any.
I haven't.
If Bruce Lee was in it, someone you'd watch it. I was about to say Stan Lee. If Stan Lee was in one,
Lee's
you would
sex
be.
tape. Excelsior!
I would have to watch that one.
I think the one that garnered the most interest from me when I heard about it was Paige from WWE.
Yeah, I got two.
You got two.
I got two. Tila Tequilas.
I did not know she had one.
Oh, she's got tons.
She's
got tons.
She's a mess now.
Yeah, she's in bad shape now. And then
she's psychotic.
She went off the deep end.
She puts her kids in she pretty much created her own religion. She is crazy now.
And then the other one, just because she was such a tease for so long, and then she finally made one, was Bella Delphine.
Not sure of her.
She's the one who kind of ruined OnlyFans for many simps.
She sold her bathwater, and people bought it.
Can't blame her for that. For other people being ridiculous.
And the fact was, she was a tease for years, and then finally she's like, "Yep, gonna make porn," and people are like, "We don't care. Like, you've been such a cunt for so long."
I guess when it came with like the OnlyFans thing, she promised people to so much that she was going to reveal some stuff, and the entire stream she didn't show anything, but people paid her buku. She earned, I think, the most OnlyFans an OnlyFans account earned. I want to say it capped off, and then they finally put a cap on it, and now they're trying to change it from adult content. Like, they're trying to get rid of a lot of that.
Well, wasn't she bringing home like $1.5 million a month?
She could buy
like $1 million a month for not getting nude. But that was the thing. She wasn't getting nude. She was getting to the point. Like, she would show her boobs, but she'd have tape over her nipples, or she'd be bottomless, but like have like her hand over her vagina. And
see, this is why I think it's not fair to men, and I'm not meaning any disrespect to women, but any woman out there, regardless of what she looks like, could go on OnlyFans and make a ton of money. Oh, yeah. Well, guys are desperate. We could not go on there.
Women don't get desperate like that.
Right.
They don't.
Yeah, any woman too could go up to a guy and be like, "Hey, show me your cock," and they're like 30 dick pics. Here you go, all free.
Yeah. So there's some women out there that literally do not have to work. They just sit in front of a webcam all day and post pictures of their feet, and they're making a bunch of money. Before we get to your, Justin, because I know you have a sex tape out there that's one of your favorite. Did you guys ever see the one with Dustin Diamond, Screech from having a threesome?
Talk about another giant cock.
Yeah. Screech had a threesome.
I told you he was kind of a dick.
It looked like he had like a 12-inch or two on him.
I don't recall that one.
Yeah.
See, honestly, I don't really have a favorite. I mean,
I didn't necessarily say favorite, just one that sticks out in your mind, I guess.
The original One Night in Paris was great.
Oh, yeah. Did you ever see China? One Night in China?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, she knew how to work a cock for being a man.
It's fucked up.
Justin, you're not getting out of this.
Well, he already named some of the ones that I can't think of any.
Yeah.
I honestly can't think of any.
What about the one that's your desktop background picture?
Those are my children.
Oh, why do you have to
Weird. I mean, when the Fappening came out and like all the celebrity leaks and nudes
Wasn't
that
there
came out.
Well, I guess it's not a sex tape, but Gabriel Union from Omaha. That was
No, you just caught him in a bathroom.
Whoops.
Do you remember
Riley
the sports anchor lady from Erin Andrews when it wasn't a sex tape? It wasn't a sex tape, but it was when she was in Omaha for the College World Series. Somebody found out what room she was in and recorded her like naked dancing, getting ready in the mirror.
Oh, yeah.
You remember that?
I remember of it.
Another sex tape, Victoria from WWE.
I haven't seen that one. That would be my favorite then. Yeah.
One came out, and she was like my favorite at a period of time. Her sex tape came out, and I literally was working with her in South Dakota, filming a wrestling show that she was at. I'll tell you what, ma'am, like it was hard for me when I met her to just like not say something, because I literally like on the way up there, my buddy was like, watch it. And so, yeah. Ooh, that was a good one.
I guess I would, because I had a huge crush on her as well. She was like my ideal model chick, I guess, for the longest.
Well, she can definitely teach you how to take it anal. Actually, it wasn't anal, but you would have to.
But she'll show you how to do it.
All right.
The Widow's Peak. So that was mine. Kid Rock and Pamela Anderson, marriage for 4 months.
I'll do mine right now then. So there's a little event that I wanted to reintroduce you guys to. So my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, thank you.
No one gives a fuck.
You ain't getting it from me. I already wished you happy birthday on Facebook.
My birthday was July 20th.
He took a whole week off.
Yeah,
Like,
I needed to.
Who past their 16th birthday takes a week off?
I got a hard job.
I never celebrate
I need
my
to get out of
birthday.
there.
My birthday's in the thick of busy season at work.
It's another day closer to death.
Plus, I'm almost 40, so.
I got some housework to do. But anyways,
I'm just giving you shit.
With your
Happy
maid
birthday.
outfit.
so this is kind of like my, yeah, exactly.
Happy
Thank
day
you.
someone came in your mother and then you got here.
9 months later.
Some amount of time later.
Yeah. So I was born July 20th, 2 days ago. Today's the 22nd. So
You were
2
born
days
2 days ago? You look awful.
It's like I was born 2 days ago.
It's like it doesn't even have any hair yet.
But 1985, July 20th, 1985.
Such a baby.
I know. While I was being born, there was something else that was going on. And I kind of want to take note to this. This is popular, but the event itself was remarkable. So there is a couple while I was being born named Max and Layla. And there was an old elderly couple, a 68-year-old and a 66-year-old wife. So the 68-year-old, he was attacked with a machete and shot and killed on July 20th, 1985. And his wife, she was also killed on the same day. And the killer pretty much broke into the couple's home in Glendale, California, which he also robbed them. Afterwards, he went up to, where was it? To Sun Valley. And he attacked a 32-year-old man while he was sleeping in his bed. He shot him with a 22, was it?
So pea shooter.
Something, a 22 caliber weapon. No, sorry. The first one was shot with a 22 caliber weapon. The second one was like a 26, I forget. Two different weapons. And so he shot him while he was asleep as well. And afterwards, he sodomized and raped the other guy, the Chanarong Kovanoth. He was an immigrant from Thailand.
I would hope so. With that name.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. And so he sodomized his wife, and then there was a 2.5-year-old daughter who slept through the entire thing. He also raped the 8-year-old boy who was also in that room. So do you guys know who I'm talking about?
Was it, what the fuck is his name? The Night Stalker?
The Night Stalker. The Richard Ramirez.
Richard Ramirez, yeah.
So
California.
Ricardo Leyva Munoz Ramirez, also known as Richard Ramirez. Yeah, this was 15 minutes apart from the killings, 15 minutes apart from Sun Valley to Glendale. From Glendale to Sun Valley, it was 10.7 miles from Glendale to Sun Valley. 10.7. Guess how much I weighed when I was born?
7.10.
No, it was like 6.2, but you know.
Little known fact, most handsome serial killer ever.
Was he? I think Ted Bundy. He has some striking.
Ramirez with that flowing hair.
Yeah.
Did you guys
man.
have you guys watched that like 4 or 5 part series on Netflix called The Night Stalker about him?
I caught part of it. My wife finished it, but
you got to watch that thing. That's very interesting.
Yeah. So the sequence of events was on July 20th, 1985. Ramirez, he purchased a machete with cash, and then he took a stolen Toyota to Glendale, selected a house at random, which so happened to be the Maxon and Layla Needings. He burst into their bedroom while they were fast asleep and went to town on them with a machete. After a while, it began to take too long, so he kind of got bored with it, and his patience was wearing thin, so he ended up shooting both of them in the head with a 22 caliber. Yep. And
who gets tired of murdering?
Yeah, he's like, this bores me.
Murder's boring. I'd kill you dead now.
And after he shot him with the handgun, he furthered his play with the machete post-mortem. So he still hacked at them because he just wanted to, I guess, there was this urge that he couldn't quench. And like some of the people were asking him, like, why did you kill all those people? And he's like, I don't know. I can't answer the question. Like, and he tried to get close to it at one point, or probably a few times. But in one of the interviews I was watching, it's like, it's something that just kind of calls at him, that eats at him, that like he has to try to quench this thirst. And he was pretty much made to be a killer. It's like growing up, he had an abusive father who would, beat the crap out of him and his brother. He had a crazy cousin who went to war in Vietnam and came back with like all these pictures and stuff of mutilated and dead women that he would like rape and kill too. And he even witnessed his cousin kill his wife or girlfriend or somebody. It's like she backtalked, and Richard Ramirez was at his cousin's house with him, and he watched the guy put the gun to the back of her head and just shot her, and he says like she just fell down, and it's like slow motion. But yeah, so after Richard Ramirez killed this elderly couple. He went into about 4 a.m. He made his way up to Sun Valley, which is 15 minutes away. He forced his way into the Kovanoff family's house, a friendly Thai residence. You know, the people kind of praised this guy. He's like, you know, he offered a lot to the community. He was just a very happy-go-lucky immigrant. Nobody would have guessed that he would have been targeted. And that was the thing about Richard Ramirez is he didn't have a code or something that he searched for. It was all by random, which made him so aloof. It took him, about 4 months on a killing spree before he was actually caught. I think it would have been longer.
And he never changed his fucking shoes. They had the same shoe print at every crime. That's how they linked him.
They could have found him earlier, but I hate when police, like stations do this or counties. It's like they don't like to cross-reference. They don't like to share information. It's like if you guys would have done this ahead of time, you probably would have caught him. You probably could have placed a lot more hits to him.
It was also on the documentary, the news people, the news lady anchor got wind of some stuff, and they told her, don't air this. And of course, what did she do? She went and aired it for ratings, and that's also what was making it harder to catch him.
All right. But, yeah, so broke into the Kovanoff family. He took a .25 caliber handgun to the head of Chanarong, killing him before he could even wake. He viciously raped and sodomized his wife, some kid, multiple times. She struggled and pleaded, but he bound her and beat her along with her 8-year-old son. And before he left, he ended up raping the 8-year-old boy as well. So this day, 1985, July 20th, my birthday, this was dubbed as like one of the most vicious murders to date with the amount
your mom's vagina.
Come on. Insensitive. It was. She was sedated. She was medicated. Not by hospital drugs, but yeah, no, that was my thought. You forgot about that.
Nice.
This is
good one.
It's hard to celebrate my birthday sometimes with the people who die, like this guy, or Chester from Linkin Park, or Bruce Lee, but those are on different years. But this one was...
They died on your birthday?
Yeah.
Wow.
Your birthday's cursed.
Curse of the Dragon.
Elvis died on my birthday.
Didn't we do this once before?
We're going to go around in circle and tell us...
We figured out people that died on our birthday, so I remember you saying that before.
Who died on your birthday? See, no, we didn't do it because you would have had something up. So
no, it wasn't anybody good.
Hey, fuck you.
I thought there was like like Jackie Robinson or something like that. Now we're not doing the actual year,
right? Just
Jackie Robinson, Rosa Parks, Cheryl Walker. She's apparently a model.
Everybody recognized
from 1918 to 1971. Yeah, so Rosa Parks and Jackie Robinson are the two. So we did talk about that because
I don't remember.
Let's go back and look at listen to the episodes.
Next.
Ronnie, what did we forget about?
Oh, buddy. So saying we're all cinephiles is like a massive understatement.
Watch your mouth.
Right? We all love movies here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to go way back.
I actually hate movies that I'm in this to try to make movies better.
Oh, that's great. So we're going way back, baby steps into the 20th century, my guys. And we're going to talk about the first nudity in a major motion picture. That's right. Was in an Italian film, 1911's Dante's Inferno. And it was a wiener! That's right. The first nude in a major movie, was a wiener. Wasn't boobs, wasn't butt. It was literally a wiener. So,
you saw his pizza.
Yeah, so the actual first movie in a non-erotic film, there's erotic nudity way before in the silent film era, but the first major motion picture was an Italian film in 1911, Dante's Inferno. Came to the United States in 1924, same nudity.
And many people came then.
There's the wiener itself.
That is the girthiest wiener I have ever seen in my life.
It's an Italian thing.
Yeah, big old Italian cock you got there.
Goodness gracious.
But, yeah, what you're looking at is the first recorded non-erotic film wiener in film. That's the first nudity in film history. So if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't get to see the boobs of half of the celebrities we've seen.
My good, how can you even compare to that?
You can't. That's
flaccid.
Imagine that thing firm.
Like, have you seen those like dragon dong things that girls buy?
Right. It probably just gets.
That is what it was molded.
It probably just fills out, looks like a fist.
Just type in,
can't.
go to Google and type in Dante's Inferno movie nudity. Justin's like over there trying his damnedest. I'm like, there's a girthy cock, and he's like, I can't see.
Oh, God. Favorites.
Do you see it now?
I don't see it.
Okay, well,
It's so small.
But anyway, first nudity in film history, major movie, period. Number 1, Italian film, Dante's Inferno. Came to the United States, 1924. Same movie, Dante's Inferno. Same cock.
Why is he headless?
It's Dante's Inferno. Dante's comedy. It's just a great film, great book. If you haven't seen the movie or read the book, I highly suggest it. But who knew that would be such an influential part of movie and horror culture?
God bless him.
Yeah, right? Like, people don't understand that there's like a certain culture in horror movies that literally is explained by the BBBs, like boobs, big knives, and blood.
You know, we take for granted these old movies. I'm trying to get into watching some of these older films.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, I watched Nosferatu, the original, and fantastic.
I watched the Cabinet of Dr. A. Humberto or H something. It was one of the very first horror movies ever made. It was a silent film. Fantastic. Like, they were able to take something very eerie and very scary with what they had, and it was, obviously it's not scary because we're all desensitized towards horror, but it was interesting and it was fun, like watching them work with what they had. It had this slight, like, almost creepy factor, the way it was recorded on film and how cracky and jerky things were, like how they try to make movies now. The monster is like hingy and jerky. They got that from early cinema because that's how the monster moved, is because that's how cinema was cut.
Now, Justin, you have Dante's Inferno to thank for your ass nudity and unemployed.
Thank you, Dante's Inferno, for showing us that we can be.
No, thank you.
Man, this fucking guy.
Well, I guess I did forget about Dante's Inferno and the big cock because I never saw it before.
Now you have. Now your life has officially been changed.
And it's officially my desktop picture.
Just, you know, some people have that motivational speech or that poster in their office with the kitty hanging on the clothesline that says,
hang in there.
Hang in there. Now you got Dante's Inferno's giant cock on your background.
Hang in there.
They say with every 10 pounds you lose, it exposes like a centimeter of your cock. So that's motivation for us to lose weight. We get bigger cocks with every pound of weight we lose.
I don't know if I can handle any bigger.
God, humble brag. I make movies for a living, and I have a 6.4-inch penis.
That's
6.5.
Huge. I can't.
It looks like a baby's forearm.
Now, Justin, you got our main topic tonight.
It was too late on that one.
Yeah, you were. That was from earlier in the first 5 minutes of our episode.
It finally came through. It's on a timer. So, our main topic. This one is something that's going to hit close to home. I probably shouldn't phrase it in that way, but
yeah, what the fuck?
Jeez.
This one's really going to smash and burn you guys.
Yeah, no. All right, no, this one is a very serious one.
Yeah, it sounds
kind of like how we did the Shanann and the Shanann Watson. What's his name?
Chris.
Yeah, it's like there is some really messed up stuff that happened, not only during or around the event place, but even the aftermath of what happened afterwards. And I kind of want to delve into that. How familiar were you guys with the Gretna 5 before we delved into this one?
Not very. I knew of it. I remember when it happened. I knew about as much detail about it then than I do now.
Gotcha. You? Did you know anything?
I knew nothing about it.
All right. Well, the Gretna 5 is, Gretna is a close little inner city around Omaha area. Not too far. It's less than 15 minutes from where I'm from. What happened was there's 5 girls who pretty much ended up drinking and driving and then ended up in a ditch in a car that caught fire. 4 of them died. 1 of them survived.
They were all 15 and 16.
Yeah. The deceased Their names have already been revealed. They're released. So I'm just going to go ahead and recite the things that you can already find in the news. So the deceased was Abigail Barth, Alexandria Minardi, Chloe Odermont, and Addison Pfeiffer. The only person who survived was Royanne Brandon. And all the girls were of age of 15 and 16, like they said. They were Gretna High School students. This happened around like 11 p.m., June 17th, on Monday night in 2019. Just 2 years ago. 2 years and a month ago. And yeah, they still have posts, Facebook pages and stuff to tribute to them and remembrance and try to spread more positivity around the stuff that happened, the loss of life, these young girls making not so smart decisions. It happened around Platteview Road. It's approximately 3 miles east of the Nebraska crossing outlets, which I used to frequent over there quite often. If you're going the speed limit and not impaired, there is no reason for you to have an accident. But yeah, so currently Abigail was the driver. The investigation found her at 0.9, which puts her over over 3 times the drinking limit for the state of Nebraska. It's 0.2 for 21 and under. Everyone else but Addison was over the limit. She had none. She didn't drink. There was no alcohol found on. There are reports that say everybody had alcohol in their system, but
yeah, that's something weird about this case. Like, no source is the same. Every source you look at, there is a different context and different information.
Yeah, I guess it just depends on the source. I mean, I've been, trying to get on to like omaha.com. It's like every time I click on it, then like an ad pops up. And it's like, fuck, man, you probably have like the most news about it, but you have to pay for the subscription for the Omaha News.
Right.
But yeah. So the vehicle was caught over 90 miles per hour in a 50 mile per hour zone. So it went off into a ditch where it caught flames. It was a 2017 Ford Fusion. 2 of the girls were ejected from the vehicle, one of the survivors, and another one who passed. That is pretty much the who, what, when, where, why. Well, I guess not necessarily the why. But what struck me about this is, like, I do have some people who are close to this, some people who knew a few of the girls, who were friends with them, who went to school with them, who lived across the street from one of them. What's the question that kind of goes through your mind with this?
So I just want to start off by saying that, tragedy like this should not have happened. Like, I don't wish something like this happened to anybody, especially when it's young people like that. But we also have to take into consideration that this was something that could have easily been avoided. And we'll get into it, but it pisses me off what the parents are doing nowadays,
right.
Placing blame on others that really aren't at fault. The person that's at fault, 2 people are at fault in my eyes with this. And it doesn't mean that I believe that they got what they deserved, but whoever supplied the girls with alcohol is at fault for this. And Abigail is at fault for this because she was the driver and she chose to drink a lot.
Right.
Because
3 times the limit.
Yeah, 3 times the limit. Then she made the stupid decision to drive with 4 other people in the vehicle.
One of them who was sober.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I mean, yes, it was her car, but even still, on a Monday night, 11 p.m., there was reports saying that she did just go pick up somebody from work, but still, there's 5 of you in the vehicle on a Monday night. I mean, it's a summer. It's not a school night or anything, but...
Well, then she made the decision to go almost 2 times over the speed limit.
Right.
So to me, the questions that go through my mind are, who gave them the alcohol? Who supplied them with the alcohol? I'm assuming it was probably one of the parents of the girls, because I thought that they were at one of the girls' houses where there was a party going on. If I'm correct.
They can't go off of like hearsay. Sin, they can't. Like, the thing is that was the original question. Is like, where did the girls get this alcohol?
Never answered.
When this question was posed to the parents, they all shut their mouths and lawyered up. And so that just looks extremely guilty. You shut your mouth and you lawyer up just because you don't want to speak, but then you want to place the blame elsewhere. It's like, yeah, you're supposed to be responsible for these. If my daughters have friends over, it's my responsibility to take care of them too.
Mm-hmm.
If one of them is drinking, it's like, no, you can't. Like, I will have to call your parents or something. But then again, I don't really know too many 5-year-olds who are drinking. So...
Well, isn't it also kind of fishy that the survivor girl, Rowan, isn't saying anything either from what I understand, I didn't look too much into it, but I know that when she was first getting out of the hospital, she was not saying anything. Her lawyers advised her not to say anything. Her parents told her not to say anything.
Oh, yeah.
Why? Well, what is she going to tell that's going to turn this whole story around?
I'm pretty sure they have some stuff. The thing is like I said, I am 2 degrees to this accident here. Some of the people who, the girls talk, they see friends, other girls or other schoolmates. They know what they're doing. From what I hear, and I can't say this is for sure, but this is what I've heard from people who have lived across from them. The girls are always over there. They're always hanging out. They are the best of friends. The parents supply the alcohol. They make them drink at the house, supposedly, but it's like just my words saying that doesn't mean anything. It has to be from the sources and all this. They have to find evidence. I don't know why they're not pushing a little bit more on the parents.
Because they don't have anything. I mean, unless there's surveillance video, which how many of you have surveillance at your house, especially if you're going to be supplying minors with alcohol?
Right.
I mean, it's just, I haven't looked at what the parents look like, but I can just envision what they look like. They're probably
suburban white families.
Right. Yep.
If you saw the pictures of these, there's a bunch of pictures of these girls, and they look like they're having a good time. They look like they are more mature than what they probably should be. They look like they have a source of income feeding their fun and their play and their alcohol, obviously. I mean, like if you're going to be 3 times the limit and everybody else, it's like there's quite a bit there. Yeah, younger people do have less of a tolerance.
Well, and you have to also take into account that they were being minors. They were quite petite as well. They were very small girls, so that could influence their alcohol tolerance as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, there's many different factors, but the parents are focusing on, some of the parents. 2 years later, last month, 3 of the girls who've passed, their parents opened up to sue the Sarpy County due to the road conditions, which is bullshit because it's like they claimed the roads were why they were killed. It was deficient.
Right.
It's like it's not the roads. That road there's traffic all the time with this one. They're also trying to blame the Ford company. It's like, it's not the company. There's probably like 20 different vehicles at the same make and model that pass that road every single day on a minimum.
So they were driving a Ford 2007 Fusion, and that's what they're trying. They're suing Ford for that model, make and model, because that's what killed their daughters. I'm telling you, I don't care what car you're in. If you're on like a road like that with a curve or whatever,
and you're 2017,
if you're going 90 plus miles per hour, it's not the car's fault. It's the person behind the wheel of the car's fault. Now, if the brakes had went out,
absolutely,
then you can sue them all you want. But it's user error.
Right. The thing is there was another accident back in 2006, in December 2006, that killed another Gretna high school student, a senior named Jacob Hurd and Kyle Levine. They were involved in the crash.
Did you just take all my notes?
The driver, Matthew Robinson, he was the one who was driving 101 miles per hour heading east on the Platteview Road just west of 180th Street when he crashed. Robinson had been drinking. Supposedly, they were being chased at the time of the crash. But even still, one of them died, and the other guy who survived, he had to do like talks and stuff, talking about the dangers of alcohol and getting behind the wheel and being a minor and, just the effects that it all causes. Yes, in these 2 situations that almost the exact same spot, lives were taken.
Right.
But like being the one who survived, expelled from the vehicle, and then like, I don't know if you were conscious after that, but like hearing your friends just burn, like, man.
Your survivor's guilt has to be horrible.
That's probably one of the reasons why she hasn't talked. It might be, I'm pretty sure she wants to just be rid of this. But her parents
she never will.
No.
Well, it's not necessarily her parents. Her parents weren't involved in the suing of the county, but the other ones,
I believe they were.
The one of the surviving one.
Her parents decided not to take part in it because they probably realized that that's a greedy thing to do, because the other ones they're suing, and they're not suing for the right reasons. They're suing because A, they probably already have a lot of money, and B, they're going to try to get as much as they can, because not once did they say we're with because they're suing 3 people or 3 things. They're suing Platteview County, they're suing Ford, and they're also suing the company that erected the guardrail that they went through. How the fuck are you going to tell me?
Well, they tried suing the county twice, so that's 4.
Yeah. they're reaching for any money, and not once did these parents say that they're trying to sue to get money so that they could put this money into something about underage drinking, like talking to schools about the dangers of underage drinking, because they don't give a fuck about that, because they're not looking at it as their daughter or whoever gave them the alcohol. They're the ones that are responsible for this. They will not do that because they got to play the victim card. And I'm sorry they lost their daughters.
Right.
That's fucking
unfortunate.
terrible, but you're going about this the wrong way.
Right. Exactly. And it makes them look even more guilty. Yes, they have a huge payout from the other stuff. There's been pictures of the family's dream houses that have been blasted online. It's making it seem like it's obvious that the goal is money.
Yeah.
And like the Minardi family, they bought like a $472,000 house 5 months later after the accident. The Pfeiffer family, they built a $530,000 house 6 months later. Some parents claim that the money wasn't used for that, but there's public records that state otherwise. It's like, I don't know if you had this in the plans before, but the public records that have your payout is showing that it's going directly for these dream houses.
Right.
Were you going to move prior? Was it part of your plan beforehand?
Like, that's nice blood money there.
Right.
That built
and now
your
they're going to
house.
go back and try to sue things just to get an even bigger payout.
Right. There's so much about this topic that I couldn't handle, because there's so much about this topic that hit home for me. My best friend growing up was killed by a drunk driver. So just reading about it, I keep getting angry and angrier and angrier. But also there was a lot about this topic that I have a lot of familiarity with it. Like Platteview Road was my road to get to the hospital for my feet and for my surgery. So I drove Platteview Road twice a week for almost 2 solid months. And it being 50 and being 45, and there was never any area on that road that was really seen as dangerous. There was no sharp pin turns. There was no...
Yeah, when you're following the rules, it's fine.
There's no 90-degree turns. There's one area you have to stop and turn left on Platteview Road that kind of swings you around, but it's right by the sheriff's station, so there's no reason why you'd be going 90 miles an hour by the sheriff's station. So looking at that Platteview Road, there should be no areas why guardrails should be needed other than for your own safety. Yeah. But in those areas, it's 45 miles an hour now.
Right.
I don't know if that is in correlation with the wreck. Like I said, I was driving there now. This happened in 2019.
I understand the guardrails, especially for night driving, and since it went into a ditch, like guardrails will save you from the ditch for sure, but icy roads, all that.
Right. One of the things I looked into in this case, because I had to detach myself emotionally from the case. So I took the car and I did as much research into like the APA crash test ratings and seeing what front end collisions would do to this car and seeing where the gas tank was in this car and seeing like what would happen when this car would hit a rail at that 90 miles an hour. And those rails are made for collision.
Right.
Like they're made out of the steel that is made to give a little impact. It's kind of like a cushion to say it's going to give hitting it at a certain speed, but
the impact of the ditch is much harder than the guardrail.
Right. And so the Ford Fusion, was it? Or the Ford? Yeah, Ford Fusion has a 5-for-5 front end collision rating. And I watched it from 55 to 60, 65 to 70, 75 to 80, 85 to 90. Like I watched all these front end collisions and like how the airbags deploy and how people was in it, how it shuts down the motor. And there's nothing in those crashes that looked like it would cause not only damage to ignite the car, but to be able to eject people from the car. Like granted, if they had...
some of them weren't wearing seatbelts.
Well, yeah, if they weren't wearing seatbelts, it wouldn't be the collision that would have ejected them. It would have been the hill, like rolling down the hill. But, and I know this all sounds like conspiracy theories, but a lot of things in this case really do kind of sound conspiracy. There's zero reason, like with that front end collision and the firewall coming into the engine itself would go out, and the placement of the gas tank with it going down, and it can roll and it can eject those, it can roll all it's want. But with no engine going, there's no spark, and with no spark, there's no ignition to the gas tank. So there's no reason why that car would catch on fire unless someone was smoking in it or something like that. But there's no logical reason why.
You can't say they weren't smoking. I mean,
right.
Wow.
Well, they were drinking. I mean, like, you can't say they're not above it, I guess.
But there's no reason why that car should have ignited. Like, looking at the facts that are presented with the car and where they wrecked and the means in front of them, unless they were smoking and the jostle of the hitting the rail made them drop a cigarette that ignited the seat or the carpet or the roof vinyl.
Yeah, I don't know if there was alcohol in the vehicle. So, I mean, like something that would have been flammable or something. But
well, even that, if there's no ignition, there'd be no reason for it to become inflamed.
It's a very unfortunate situation. I mean, like, even the driver, Abigail,
right.
I don't know about the time of crash, but there was a time recorded that she was without registration for 7 months. So if that was the time of the crash, she shouldn't have even been behind the wheel.
No, absolutely not.
Not just that, but, alcohol. She shouldn't have been behind the wheel. Night driving. You're not really equipped with that. You shouldn't have the experience, at least at that. You're a city girl.
Right.
So many risks that could have been avoided, but yeah.
I've gotten a lot of flack over the years because underage drinking is one of my biggest pet peeves that pisses me off when people supply underage kids, especially 15, 16-year-olds, with alcohol. I had a roommate that he had a lot of underage high school friends, and he was in his mid-20s. And I told him when we moved in, I'm like, I know you like to have parties. And I said, I don't mind if you have kids, your kid friends over, high school kids over. But I said, you are not supplying alcohol to them. I said, do you have them over here and I see alcohol in their hand, we're done as roommates. I'm breaking the lease. I'm moving out. It wasn't even a month that we were there. And I was hanging out with my family that night. And he had texted me and he said, hey, let me know when you're coming home, because he's just like, I have some friends over, and he's like, because parking there was terrible. He's like, one of them has a front row spot, so he's just like, I'll send them out so they can move the car and you can get the front spot. And then in my head, I'm like, you think I'm that fucking stupid? You want me to text you to tell you I'm coming home
So you can send the minors
so
out.
you can have them dump the beer or whatever.
Right.
So I didn't text him, and I quietly snuck up the steps of the apartment.
That's cold.
I put my key in as fast as I could, open the door. Sure enough, there was 3 underage kids and him, and they're all with alcohol in hand. It pisses me off because adults who are supposed to be responsible with alcohol are not responsible. But think of like a teenager. They think they're fucking invincible.
Mm-hmm.
You give them alcohol, they're probably not going to understand that they're drunk or even tipsy. They're going to make stupid decisions. And unfortunately for these girls, it was a decision that cost most of them their lives. And people can give me flack all they want, but I will never supply alcohol to a minor. If I see somebody supplying alcohol to minors, I am immediately calling the cops on them.
Right.
Just because shit like this happens.
Well, and that's one of those things, too, in the different reports, that one of the reports said they were at a party and then they were on their way home.
Yeah, one of the ones that said that they were picking up one of them from work. But why are all 5 of them there picking her up from work with a drunk driver?
Right. A lot of them didn't even mention the alcohol in some of them. And they were way after even the case had been, quote unquote, wrapped up, that they didn't even mention the alcohol. It's like they didn't want to beseech their name.
I don't know. This whole thing is just, it's weird.
It's bogus. Like, it's out there. I don't see how the simple question of where did they get the alcohol, how is that not answered by now?
Yeah.
Right.
I'm pretty sure not just these 5 girls. There's been probably other people who've kind of been along for the ride as well.
The thing with, and where my brain goes, and my brain goes to some pretty weird areas, but with the 2 boys, with the one dying and one living, and then with that, the 4 girls and one living, makes you think, like, what if it's not related to alcohol, and what if there's some, like, outside factor that is
Such
like,
as?
I don't know. It like
driving fast at night?
No. Well, like logically, yes, that's the thing. But some like super fantasy-esque thing, like there's a Bermuda Triangle on fucking Platteview Road, or
is it possible
they see a Yeti, or there's something that's murdering kids, and the one person left alive is left to tell the story, or something like that. Like it's such of a fantastical story that the parents and the kids don't want to talk about it, that it could be something superficial like that.
They don't talk about it because it was
their fault.
One, if not all, the parents supplying them.
Well, yeah, it's
saying-
100% their fault, but it lets your imagination run like that.
Every 16 years, another child is going to get in an accident.
This is a quote from one of the parents from their lawsuit, and they said, deaths would not have happened if the county had followed a consultant's recommendation for improvements to Platte View Road. How the fuck is, even if they repaved that road, took out curves or whatever, how is that stopping
It's not
stupidity?
I think just a random observance of that street on a day-to-day basis proves that that's just a bullshit quote.
Right.
Well, it's like, dude, all these people who are passing this guardrail are not dying.
Yeah.
Well,
They're-
2 deaths
Their
in...
consultant could have been like Farmer Joe down the road.
Probably
Just
was.
a fancy fucking way of somebody saying, yeah, I think they should fix that.
Yeah, it's a money grab. It's what it looks like. Like I don't want to claim it, but that's what the perception gives. Like I could not imagine losing my children, you know.
Absolutely not.
And I rather myself pass before they do. But there's a hole of guilt, and you're trying to fill it with money. It seems obvious to everybody else, but like they're trying to win this lawsuit, and I don't see how they can win this lawsuit. It's like it's fucked up though, because lawsuits like this get won all the time over like some stupid little parameter that they didn't get in the small print or something. You know, like the girls were impaired, they weren't following operating guidelines or the road rules, yet the families, they still profit off of it. And I should say the girl, since fault is mostly on the decision of the driver, like it should just primarily be on her. She was the driver, she's the one who that made that decision to follow through. But you can reach that back to like where the alcohol came from. And it seems like somebody who's not making good decisions, that kind of comes back to the family. Decisions like that should start at the house, at the home.
Mm-hmm. I just feel like if they do win the lawsuit, which if they do, my God, there's something wrong with our legal system.
There's something wrong with our legal system anyway.
All right.
But if they win and they use that money to buy an even more lavish home and brand new BMW or whatever Corvette car that they want, how long is it going to be before that guilt starts to set in?
Never, because they're fucking money grubbing assholes.
I think their goal pretty much switched. It's like they have gone this long and gotten paid for it. They're treating their negative behaviors. They're commending their negative behaviors.
Well, the only ones that seem like they have a head on their shoulder would be Chloe's parents, because they didn't want to take part, which I would like to know what their reasoning is for not taking part in these lawsuits. Is it because they think it is bullshit and that there was fault on Abigail for being the dumb one to be drinking the most? Well, maybe she wasn't drinking the most. She seemed the most petite out of the pictures of them. Like, and she looked like, and I hate saying this, but she looked like she was a party girl for being so young. Right. I mean, she was, I think, the skinniest out of all of them. And
she was a little taller. There was the darker haired one who was like the smallest. The tallest, I believe, was the one who was sober.
But it's just like, I should have done more research and I probably could, but to look at what their parents look like. Because like I said, I have a vision of them in my head, what the parents look like, and I bet you they fit the bill to a T.
They actually kind of look like, well, one of the parents who finally broke their silence after a year and a half or so. There was an interview of him doing like another fundraiser. And that's another thing that I call like, it's complete bullshit. It's like there's been all these fundraisers for donations, and like they've gotten these donations for like burials and just helping out with everything that happens after a death. You know, and another one was just actually made last month to protest at a golf course. And a really fucked up thing is like they're trying to sue the county, but the people who've been giving you all these donations, you're penalizing them because it's the taxpayers who have to pay out.
All right.
I am 100% looking at the pictures of the parents, and I am assuming the two parents, and it's hard because this is audio, but there's one of the moms and dad have a green shirt on. I mean, they look like exactly what I was envisioning in my head for parents to look like. And then there's a picture of the 4 moms of the teens. And yeah, one of them, again, looks like she's exactly what I pictured her to be.
The parents of the driver, Abby, I found this to be really fucked up too. It's like they posted a GoFundMe, and it's a picture of the mom, the dad, and Abby, and they're at a brewery. I'm like, that's a kind of bad taste.
Well, that's what this kind of looks like, too. This little remembering their daughters on the anniversary. They're at a bar, it looks like.
Oh, yeah.
So go figure.
Yeah, I mean, like driving out that speed.
That's a great.
Right.
You know, that just pisses me off looking at that. Like, that's just sinking in right now. They're at a fucking bar on the anniversary of their daughter's death. Get the fuck out of here. I hope that somehow the city can sue them, because that's just, that's irritating. I hope they listen to this too.
I'm sure they're trying to be those cool parents who are like, yeah, you guys can drink here, you just can't leave.
Absolutely, that's what they are.
And
I disagree. They did not say, no, you can't leave.
Right. And they don't realize what they're doing is setting a precedence for potential alcoholic child or alcoholic adult.
Right.
Alcoholism is a real thing. Like, especially when you start them young. The next thing you know is if these girls survive and they're allowed to drink all willy-nilly, they don't think something's wrong with them. What says the next party they go to that they don't get sexually assaulted or they don't kill somebody else with their driving?
You know, it pisses me off because I lost my dad 17 years ago to alcoholism. He drank so much, he killed his liver. He did it to himself. But that's another reason why alcohol is such a touchy subject to me. But, I mean, I'm just looking at this, and I'm sorry. This is just, I'm profiling right now. But
how can you not profile
I
that
mean,
picture?
yeah, this one, she's tatted up all over and stuff. But I guarantee you that over 50% of those 4 girls, or we'll say the 5 girls, we'll include the one that's still alive, I guarantee you they were probably a product of their parents being drunk and having unprotected sex. I'm sorry. It pisses me off, this subject. 4 girls died.
15 and 16 years old,
for
man.
no goddamn reason because of negligence.
Right. 15 and 16 years old, they still have 8 to 9 years before their frontal cortex is fully developed. It's like they still are pretty much...
They're babies.
Yeah, they're babies. They're compromising their adulthood, their lives. And, well, they did compromise their life. But it's a really fucked up situation. And the total in which they are trying to sue is supposed to be $5 million. Yeah. It's like, you're going to get $5 million. I mean, you probably already got like a buttload with...
If they get that money and they don't do it to any kind of research or anything like that, which they won't.
And you know what's weird about this? You're only hearing about the passed away children. Do these parents have any other kids? Like, what are they doing to...
They're getting bigger bedrooms at their new house.
Who gives 2 fucks?
They're going to get a nice Ford Fusion for their...
Not all of them are only children either.
They should obviously look for a different type of car because the Ford Fusion didn't do it for them.
But yeah, so being a teen, that kind of increases your risk to develop an experience like this. The teens driving clause, other developing countries, they start earlier as far as like their drinking and drive, or not drinking and driving, but drinking. There's certain countries that you have a lower age, and like when I was in Europe, it's like, yeah, the kids, there's certain kids who are drinking, but they're not. It's not it's a taboo thing.
Well, a lot of European countries is just part of their culture, so it's not sought out after. It's like you have a glass of wine with dinner. Well, yeah, because it's fucking dinner. You're not going out getting completely shit-faced. No, you're just having a glass of wine with dinner.
Not only that, but their stuff over there is stronger. But here it's all about ignorance and belligerence. And, you know, the girls come off. And like I said, I don't know any of them personally, so I can't give an actual observation. But they come off as sort of entitled. And the parents' actions after the fact is kind of proven more to that assumption.
And for someone who doesn't give 2 fucks about what people... judge me for saying it, it's just a complete elitist attitude of it's a great tragedy, absolutely, that these 4 children, and that's the key word, that these children lost their lives from making a very bad decision, and 3 of them, it's very, very unfortunate. The 4th one should know better, but the other 3, it's very unfortunate that they lost their lives, but they are stupid.
Well, yeah, they have a voice. They could have said, don't drive, let's not do this.
I feel bad for the fact that there's 4 potential beautiful minds lost, but I don't feel bad for their money-grubbing parents.
Nope.
Like, my empathy for their parents is null.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, the parenting, that's probably the biggest issue with this whole thing. Right. It's like, I'm reading the comment sections on, like, KETV and blasting the article here, and there's, like, so many, like, 400, 500, 600 comments, and a lot of them are from people who actually know the family or have children who are friends with the girls, or but they're like, well, kids will be kids. It's like, no, that's just an excuse that you give when you're trying to absolve somebody of their responsibility.
And so what? That makes
Kids-
it right.
It doesn't, yeah.
Yeah, kids will be kids when they break a fucking vase, or kids will be kids when they stay out past their curfew.
Not
Kids
drive
will not
90
be-
plus
yeah.
miles per hour. And
Kids will
It
not
seems
be
like-
kids when they have a 3 times over the drinking age breathalyzer test. Kids won't be kids when they're doing heroin. If that's what people believe, that kids are being kids, this world needs to be imploded.
We're getting there.
well, and here's the thing too. Alcohol is the factor in this one from what we know. But I know everyone's pushing for like weed and marijuana to get legalized. That's another thing that's impairs you when you're driving. That's not as bad as alcohol, but I think more kids are getting into that now. And it's just like driving while impaired by being high. It's still driving impaired.
Right. I actually had a funny story about a friend he almost wrecked us, but he almost killed himself while driving high. And it was hilarious. I'll tell it because it'll bring a little bit of light to this terrible, terrible thing. He was very, very stoned. I did not know he was this stoned at the time. I knew he was high, but we're driving down I-80 coming from West Omaha, and he just randomly looked at me and goes, "I bet this is all a simulation." What? He's like, "Yeah, I bet we're in a lab somewhere."
I'd be like, I want out.
He's like, "I bet we're in a lab.
Game over, man.
We're in a lab somewhere, and out these windows, there's a bunch of scientists staring at us, and they're just seeing more like rats in a cage." I'm like, "That's an interesting theory." And at that time, he opened his door and went to look out. I fucking grabbed him by the belt, pulled him back into the car, and he pulled his door shut. And about that time, I was able to get a hold of the wheel to keep us straight. And he fucking sat straight, bolt up, and looked at me and goes, "Yep, I was wrong."
What were you doing that you were so close to his belt to grab him?
I was in the passenger seat. Fuck you. I don't know why that took me
Taking a breathalyzer test.
Yeah.
Blow harder. It's not reading.
But yeah, all in all, I like to think that most teens are smart enough that they're not going to get behind the wheel. But there are those teens who do, and there's also adults who thinks it's fine to get behind a wheel. Personally, I think teaching consequence at an early age is highly important. Like these girls, I don't think they had much consequence. I don't know if this teen ever got her vehicle taken away. It's like this was supposed to be her.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's like she
Her
probably got like
parents
a
rewarded her.
Yeah, but like rewarding bad behavior does, Karen's in the making, it seemed like. But yeah, no, I'm more of the mind of teaching a child how to think instead of like what to think. I think it kind of makes them become better or critical thinkers. And it's like you have to ask these questions to get, it'll help develop them. Starting young, asking kids, why do you think people drink? Why can't children drink alcohol? Because they're going to be surrounded by alcohol come like family events and holidays and
when they're born.
Sometimes even that too. Some kids have ongoing permanent disabilities or something that, like, you know, because their parents drunk when they or their mom was an alcoholic.
And then they get
utero.
their shit stolen, and they get beat up when they're trying to play Power Rangers in the
Yeah, no
schoolyard.
kidding.
It's unfortunate, but
what irritates me, well, something else that irritates me about this, to my recollection, none of the parents of the girls that had passed away, or even the one that survived, have even taken the opportunity to take this tragedy and try to put a positive spin on it by going to high schools and talking to kids about, you know, I lost my daughter because of underage drinking. None of them have done that because A, that's not what's on their mind, and B, they'd be fucking hypocrites because I'm sure they were drinking when they were in high school, and they can't really go and tell kids not to drink and then go home and drink. These parents, I bet, still have parties. They still get drunk. If it were me and my daughter died in an accident, you will damn well bet once the funeral was over and they were laid to rest, I would be going school to school talking to kids about this.
Right.
And I mean, that's the thing too, like other people could be taking it, like the news could be taking this as an opportunity to try to teach kids the dangers of drinking and driving. You had an actual event that we know what caused the death of the girls, and you're not going to do anything about it, but yet we'll sit here and we'll point fingers at violent video games or movies that a shooter went and that shot up a bunch of people, and we're going to assume well, it's because he's playing these video games and stuff. We don't know that, but yet we're going to put our focus on that when we know what the cause of this was, but we're just going to act like nothing happened. And
you can't say, like, my daughter was driving and a guardrail and a ditch was in front of her. That's your guys' fault.
Fuck the guardrail company. They should have built a stronger guardrail. You tell me a guardrail company that's going to protect a car that's going almost 100 miles per hour from going off the road.
Right. If they sue the guardrail company and win, I should sue the sun.
You should.
That's
just as ridiculous as what they're doing right now.
There's one, W-O-N, there's been one cases of people suing Mother Nature and winning. And it's like, what the fuck? There's no common sense. Again, like, I think it's important that you need to equip your children with the tools to kind of identify certain dangers, to assess certain situations and react or not react. This is important. It's like, I want you to be kids still, but I want you to know what you're getting into. There needs to be a level of realism. I mean, back then, one of you guys already said it. You think you're immortal, like you think you'll survive anything, but it only takes one. It only takes one. It doesn't even have to be you with the alcohol. It could be another driver. I mean, shit like that happens. Wrong place, wrong time. It's unfortunate. I don't think the parents here are, well, again, I think they're probably just trying to fill their guilt with money.
That is if they even have guilt.
I mean, everybody grieves in their own way, so I don't expect them to go out and make speeches. I mean, like, it's probably still sensitive for some of them to talk about it, but the perception that these articles and people who know them is given, it seems greedy.
Well, looking at pictures on Google, they seem to be pretty happy, the parents, whenever they're at these events. Like, yeah, I know you're not going to...
Like, we still got one daughter left.
But it's like, oh, we're going to go to a bar and celebrate our daughter's dying because of alcohol. Let's play some Keno while we're at it.
Hey, don't you bring Keno into this.
That picture had fucking Keno in the background. I could see the screens. I'm sure they were trying to win some extra money for that, too.
They'll take it.
Yeah, they will. I'm done with this topic.
Yep, me too. Let's close it out there. So we will have a movie review that we haven't figured out which one to do yet after this. So I'm going to do that again. If you listen to the last,
so I don't care.
If you listen to the last movie review, we probably have already announced what it was. We're kind of out of order right now. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the Evil Within movie review. I got nothing else on that. I just had a brain fart. I feel like...
Why would you even bring it up? This is after.
Because I'm trying to give the we'll get back on track eventually. To it. I hope you guys liked it.
But I hope you enjoyed the wives episode.
Yeah. But something very important that we do not need to forget, Zazzle.com for all your Boundless PodTrap needs. Don't let Paco buy more merch than you have.
Paco has definitely bought a lot of merch.
Yeah. He gives it to schools. He goes to schools that he's allowed to go to.
He made some Boundless PodTrap whitey tighties. He took one of our bumper stickers and put it on the front.
Yeah. And then he cut out the rest. He just has the waistband and the sticker.
Strap.
So it's not even a jock strap. There's nothing holding it on. It's just a fucking flap sticker and a waistband.
Coming soon to Zazzle.com, we're having Boundless PodTrap fruit roll-ups.
Eat it.
Oh, what a clusterfuck. But it's fun being back in studio.
Absolutely.
It is. We're in a new studio. This is the first time we are recording.
Yeah,
this,
we're not like...
It's hot as fuck in here right now.
It is.
No,
we
it's
have
not.
A fan on.
I guess I'm happy.
But you're more naked, man.
I have Justin blocking the air that's supposed to be flowing at me.
And I'm sweating.
I've never seen someone pit so much during a podcast.
Is it that bad?
Is it that
it's bad, bro?
Your shirt was...
If I rolled my sleeves up, I can get a little bit more airflow.
Your shirt was light blue. It's now burgundy.
I stink. I'm sorry, guys.
We all do at this point.
It was a hard day. Hard nights.
Hard day of talking.
Jeez. Well, we're going to close it out here. Thank you guys for listening. Hope to see you guys. See, why do I do that?
Just end it.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode. Join us next time for more absurdity that only the guys from the Boundless PodTrap can bring you.